Yes, we are live. Hello. Welcome once again for another episode of the Below the O-Line podcast. I'm your host, Joe Laney Pavlon. Side with me, I have my co-host, Justin Hebert.
Yep.
Hope you guys are enjoying your holidays. Happy Thanksgiving up in Canada.
Yep.
Uh, and yeah, we're back here on Monday night for another in-depth discussion of motorsports. I know a lot has happened in Charlotte, including today, which we'll talk about the NASCAR world. We'll get into F1 and what happened at Istanbul for the Turkish Grand Prix. We will also go in depth into a lot of sports car racing and discuss some controversies as well. We're also going to bring up some other stuff, including regional racing and other great storylines that are going on in the motorsports world, as we always do. But let's get started, as always, with what happened in yesterday's NASCAR Cup Series race. And, of course, NASCAR Cup Series playoffs we're talking about. The end of the round of 12 was yesterday at the Charlotte Motor Speedway road course, known as a Roval for branding reasons. And, of course, somehow, someway, Kyle Larson gets it done.
Yep. And
that's his seventh win. Now, mind you, Kyle Larson had 6 career wins leading up to his entry into Hendrick Motorsports in the 2021 season. Now he has 7. That exceeds everything that's preceded this.
But yeah,
that's 13 wins in his career.
Yep. And also, do you know what's a stat that I just figured out yesterday? With Kyle Larson winning this race, he's the first driver to win 3 road course races in a NASCAR season. He's the first to do that.
Not even Chase did that?
No, last year he did not do that. There was only the Daytona road course and
Charlotte road course.
Yeah,
and he won both of them.
Yeah, 2. This first time somebody's won 3. Larson won at Sonoma. He won at Watkins Glen, and now here at the Charlotte road course. He's the first driver to win 3 road courses in the season. That's an impressive stat. Like, Kyle Larson, people say he's not a good road course racer. He's won 3 races at the road courses this season.
He's also an overall winner at the 24 Hours of Daytona 6 years ago. So
yeah,
look at that. I mean, that takes a lot of work and skill to drive in one of those vehicles in a prototype. He certainly have gotten the job done on multiple occasions. You know what? There's something raw about Kyle Larson. I know I've said that word raw before, but it is a raw feeling of talent when you see a guy on TV. It's like when I said about Ty Gibbs after his first Xfinity Series win at Daytona's road course in February of this year. It all goes back on the talent in a driver, where it comes from. How does a driver get talent? Why is it so unique compared to other drivers? Well, take a look at Kyle Larson. He's an adaptable driver. He can get the job done, just like he has done it for many, many races on countless occasions on dirt tracks around the country. He's found a way to translate that method, his work method of succeeding in those dirt tracks, onto these pavements and these now road courses in the NASCAR Cup Series level against the best stock car racers. He found a way to keep on keeping on, and this is why Kyle Larson is in such a good standing right now. And I think he's got a lot of credit that should be owed to him for why Hendrick Motorsports has improved so much this year. And yeah, you could say Chase Elliott's championship last year definitely helped their cause, but the process to really being successful again for Hendrick Motorsports was definitely due in part of Kyle Larson, really. And let's just look at the stats. I mean, he was about to get eliminated. No one was safe other than Denny Hamlin because of what happened at Talladega last week. Only Denny Hamlin was securely able to advance through based off his win at Las Vegas to get into the next round. And it was very close in points between beneath Hamlin and, outside of Alex Bowman and Christopher Bell. Underneath the cut line, like the gap between points. I can't remember how many points it was, but nobody was safe. And remember, I know I say this countless times, they're racing cold turkey at a road course that they've been to just for the 3rd time.
4th, actually. Fourth. Yeah. But, and also this road course is not the best. It's tough. This track is really tough. Yeah, we've seen it's so tough. Like, there's many sections that are tough. The first corner is tough. The infield, like in the infield section, you can get sideways easily through there. Then you go on the banking. Then you got the backstretch chicane that you can overshoot, and then you get a penalty for doing that. Then you go turn 3 and 4, like the oval 3 and 4, and then you go to the final chicane too.
That's
Like that.
place.
Yeah, it is tough to master. We've seen drivers make mistakes. Yes, we'll talk about their mistakes, but we've seen people make mistakes.
And it's easy to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how good you are at these kinds of tracks.
Yeah.
And also, you don't really top out at the Charlotte Roval at all.
No.
Power these cars because it's not like a traditional road course, and
yeah,
that's why the NASCAR cars are tough to muscle around these tracks. And
yeah,
but I think Larson, like I said, he's an adaptable driver. We've seen it all throughout this year, and there's another case of it. That's why he's in victory lane for the 7th time.
Yep.
He only had to lead 8 laps to do it, which is actually a lot considering the length of the lap around the Charlotte Roval.
Yeah.
His 13th career win. I was about to say when he had 12 wins, half of his wins were with his several years at Ganassi.
Yep.
Before his 1 year this year with Hendrick Motorsports. Now he surpassed that.
Yep.
That is just some incredible stuff. Finishing second, give a call to Tyler Reddick. And I thought, a lot of drivers were, their crew members, their team owners were cheering on Tyler Reddick, wanting someone other than William Byron to win the race. And it looked like, I think there was an untimely caution came out that kind of hurt Byron in the long run. And then he never recovered. But Tyler Reddick was always in the top 5 today. He never stayed out of it, and that's why for the 3rd time in his career, he gets finished in the Cup Series of 2nd.
Yeah.
And that first win is coming. If he can do it at Homestead, at Texas, and at the Roval, he's certainly getting close to that first win.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher, I think Brad Keselowski should be excited for his soon-to-be new driver when he becomes part owner and the newest driver for Roush Fenway Racing, because this is going to be a great teammate. He's an asset to all the rides that he's been in. Chris Buescher led 1 lap. He started 16th. He finished 3rd. Stayed in the top 5 almost the entirety of the race.
Yeah, which is impressive. I know there was circumstances that people made mistakes. I knew there was people. Remember those people made mistakes and Buescher gained spots? Chris Buescher was impressive. Like, you don't expect Chris Buescher to be up there at a road course. You expect him, okay, up front at an oval, like we've seen he led laps at Homestead or the plate tracks, Daytona, Talladega. He was up front at a road course. I know he won his first ever Xfinity win in 2014 at road course for Roush in the 60 car at Mid-Ohio. I know he did that, but in these Cup cars, he got a good finish, and I know Roush is not the best recently compared to years past, but Chris Buescher, he's not even doing that bad in the points. I know he missed the playoffs, but still, Chris Buescher's doing solid for this season compared to last year. So basically, Buescher improved from his first season at Roush, which was last year. He improved this year. I feel like he might improve more for next season, 2022.
Mm-hmm. And especially because, I know everyone say, well, what about the car? How are they going to adapt to the car? Let's be real. Every single driver, whether they're the best in the series or the worst in the series, will all have to face the same ramifications of adapting to the new car. So there's still going to be someone on an even playing field. It just depends on throughout the season who shines more than the others. And that's for another discussion as well.
Yeah.
Let's continue with the results. Kyle Busch, this was one of his worst tracks at one point. Now he needed to stay problem-free in order to narrowly squeak into the next round of the playoffs. He did just that. In fact, he excelled in this race. Well, except for post-race tech, at least it didn't throw him out of finishing 4th. He won stage 2, led 22 laps, starting 9th, and stayed in the top 5 and the top 10 all along. Never really lost any ground. Denny Hamlin, I thought, a lot of people seem to undermine Hamlin. Wait, Hamlin's not supposed to be leading laps like this on a road course. Well, heck, this guy won his first Xfinity Series win. No, not a short track. At Mexico City at the Hermanos Rodriguez circuit. So that was one of the toughest races out there. With just by looking at the entry list and the race results from that day, a lot of road course ringers. And this guy, who was in his 2nd year in the Busch Series as a Cup Series rookie, wins a track that's not really meant for him to do his best at. And I think it translated on. He won at Watkins Glen a few years, actually several years ago.
2016.
Yeah, that's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He's not a bad road course driver and needed to get as many points as possible for seeding reasons.
Yeah, but even though we had a good race, he's not seeded number 1. If people didn't, we'll talk about the points. We'll see. You'll see where he's seeded.
Right. 6th place, Matt DiBenedetto, another great run. Started P30, finished 6th, and I'm telling you, he's a great asset to the team. I hope someone signs him because he's very deserving of a Cup Series ride, and it sucks that there's still 0 in that wins column. He's been so close. Joey Logano needed, likewise to Kyle Busch, needed to survive this race, and did just that. He led 4 laps, started 3rd, finished 7th. Unfortunately for Christopher Bell, his poor stretch in the round of 12 leading up to yesterday's race was enough for him to be out of the playoffs after finishing 8th yesterday. It wasn't enough. He pretty much had to win it outright, even though it was not mathematically required. Christopher Bell had a great first season at Joe Gibbs Racing, and if anything, I think Christopher Bell is going to be a great fixture. Everybody's saying, well, Joe Gibbs Racing is a 4-car team. It seems like the driver of the 20 car or one of the 4 drivers will always be on their way out in a few years. Sure, but I think Christopher Bell is in a position where he might be staying with that team for a long time, depending on what his teammates do or what the goal is for Joe Gibbs Racing in the long run. So I'm pretty optimistic about Bell for the future. And by the way, let's not forget he got his first Cup Series win at a road course. So let's not think that he's just some kind of dirt track ace and that's that. No.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney, who won the inaugural race at this Roval, won in 2018, led for 10 laps, started 6th, finished in the 9th spot. So that means he'll join Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski into the round of 8. So all 3 Penske cars are going to be to be reckoned with, but there will be 0s on Stewart Haas Racing, and of course the leader of the team being Kevin Harvick. We'll talk about Harvick in a minute. Now he's still center of discussion after yesterday's race, and unfortunately for Alex Bowman, 10th place. He pretty much had to win it. Unfortunately, what happened at Talladega was unrecoverable leading into this one. To be in a points earning position.
Because it's 48, 49 points, maximum points and stuff. He was 52 back, but like that the Talladega race, it was not even his fault. People keep trying to say it was his fault, even though Chase Elliott drafted too hard in the Stenhouse, which knocked Alex Bowman into the outside wall. But the Roval, his car was not handling good at all. He said the car was sliding every corner. He would slide in the corner, which you don't want to do that too much at road courses because you'll end up burning the rear tires. So he tried everything to not lose.
And also, the team had adverse situations before the green flag game dropped. Like I said, with this cold turkey racing, you never know what's wrong with the car until it's up to power around the track. Yeah,
because remember this happened yesterday. Alex Bowman had alternator issues. Kyle Larson had volt issues, and Kyle Larson ended up winning with volt issues. The car could have shut off any moment. Bowman's car had bad alternator in the car, and they still finished with their issues, which was quite impressive.
That's why you never give up in the series, ever.
Yeah.
You always fight to the end until the RPMs go to 0.
That's
or the checkered flag flies.
That's why I see the title of the podcast, Never Give Up. Yeah.
This is why Hendrick Motorsports is so strong. Like they've always been. They're known to be, and they're the winningest Cup Series team for a reason. Kyle Larson. Oh, by the way, I was about to say Kyle Larson had struggles on the 500-mile races. Well, he won a 600-mile race this year at Charlotte. I think that tells the story that you got to get through the 500th mile.
Yeah.
If you want to win a 500-mile race, and he won the Coke 600. So I think if you Larson fans are listening, this is great news for you entering this weekend. I know Texas Motor Speedway is a little bit different from Charlotte, but they share a lot of the same characteristics, and I think this is good news for Larson.
Yeah.
Let's continue on. Unfortunately for William Byron, he pretty much essentially had to win the race.
Yeah.
In his position, led for 30 laps. Great road course driver. I mean, this was his home track. A lot of supporters were there for him. Started 11th, finished 11th. He was close to getting the win. An untimely caution came out towards the end, and he never recovered and actually spun on the penultimate lap, which brought him down to 11th.
Yeah.
Behind him, Chase Elliott survived this one. I don't know how Hendrick Motorsports did it, but he certainly got the job done. Elliott led for 2 laps. He won stage 1, which really helped his cause. Chase started 8th, didn't have the best car, and that's why the field took advantage of yesterday's race, because they knew if Chase is going to have issues, we're going to be the ones that are in front of him. And that's what they did. Chase finished in 12th. He recovered after the incident with Kevin Harvick. I don't know how a lot of people are still questioning why they didn't black flag him for hanging debris. And then, of course, piece of debris brought up the full course caution, and that's where to come. So, like it or not, he's in the next round, but that's just how it is. Brad Keselowski narrowly makes it into the round of 8. Yeah, he still has a lot of work to do to make it to the championship 4, but got some good tracks coming. If you're a Keselowski fan, this might be a good round for you. I think Team Penske is going to have to go all out. And they might have to compete against each other too. But Brad Keselowski looking to get his second career championship in with one more opportunity at Team Penske like he did in 2012 to get it done. Finished 20th yesterday. Started second, led no laps. Kurt Busch led 2 laps. He started in 13th. Had some issues throughout the race, but finished in 25th. Give a call to Joey Hand, sports car veteran Joey Hand, who has won several key endurance races, including a class win at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2016. That one comes to mind. I know he's won the 24 Hours at Daytona and some other races. But Joey Hand made his NASCAR Cup Series debut driving for Rick Ware Racing. Started 36th, brought it home, P27, top 30. That's a great way to start in the NASCAR Cup Series, and I think he's also part of the roster for testing.
Yeah,
team.
Yeah, he and Cody Ware, they ran today. The day 2 of that test is tomorrow, and they split the cars. So Ware does some runs, and then Joey Hand's doing some runs. Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense because Worker Racing, Cody Ware, they have a sports car background.
Yeah,
and endurance racing past, and it makes sense. A lot of the new car has characteristics of what you see in sports car racing in GT3s or some of the touring cars, specifically the ones you see in Australia. Let's continue on at P29. Martin Truex Jr. had to tangle up with Joey Hand actually towards the end, but managed to get in based off the fact that Kyle Larson won and no one that had to win the race won it. So he got in. Now, unfortunately for Kevin Harvick, he finished 33rd, crashing out. Started 7th, ran in the top 10 most of the race. Was involved in a tangle up with Chase Elliott that has really sparked the fan base because, Chase Elliott, that's their bear. You don't poke the bear. And Harvick's not afraid to do it. He almost got through this round, but apparently entering turn 1 with, I'd say, 17 or something laps to go, while trying to hold off Martin Truex Jr. and an angry Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick overshoots turn 1 like we've seen Chase Elliott and Brad Keselowski do and several others in the past, and nails the barriers, sending him out of the race and out of the playoffs.
But it was not all Kevin Harvick's fault. He locked up, but also he blew a tire. Right as he locked up, the tire popped on him. Wow. His right front blew, and you saw the damage. That car caught on fire, and
it was a hit.
And people, like all Chase Elliott fans, were all like, clapping.
Yeah, they love. Of course they did.
And the Dawsonville pool room. Did you see they posted on Twitter? They put something up. They were all happy that the 4 was out and Merry Christmas missed the playoffs. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you do realize that that Chase Elliott might not even make the Final Four. You never know what. But
hey, we've seen him having to work hard. He did that last year at Martinsville.
Last year, but this year you got Kyle Larson, the 5 car. That team has been better than the 9 team.
Chase Elliott was kind of expected to lead Hendrick Motorsports,
but
Kyle Larson was going to be the one trying to catch up to Elliott and Byron and Bowman, following through.
But
now it's Larson here, Elliott here.
Yeah, because Kyle Larson, 7 wins this season. Kyle Larson's just saying goodbye. The rest of Hendrick Motorsports all the way behind. He's just cruising.
And the rest of the field.
Yeah, and the rest of the field's like, how can we beat this 5 car? They're all
Joe Gibbs Racing. Joe Gibbs Racing as well. Like Denny Hamlin. Leading the team. It looked like Hamlin and Kyle Busch were even about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch was taking everything by storm, once again. And then Martin Truex Jr. comes in. It looked like 3 drivers were leading the team. It was something interesting, but you just never know in the Cup Series, that's for sure. And one more driver I want to mention before we go take a look at the new seedings for the round of 8 is AJ Allmendinger, who was driving for Colleague Racing, and of course, he's part of the testing session as well. That's been going on today, and that will continue on tomorrow. AJ led 5 laps. He was actually close to winning stage 1. Had a good car. Unfortunately, he had an engine that just gave way, and that meant he had to retire, finishing in the 38th position. He started 33rd.
Yeah, and that's last race for Colleague. They confirmed that's their last race this season. Their next race they put is the Daytona 500 2022. Justin Haley, their full-time driver, will drive that 16 car, which Justin Haley, he's proven himself to be good in the Cup Series. He's done decent for Spire. Other than I know we won that rain race at Daytona in 2019. Other than that, he's not done that bad for Spire. He's done good for Colleague and Xfinity. So
he's got a championship. He and AJ are going to go for a championship over there.
Yeah, and Justin Haley, he's going to try to do really good things for Colleague in the Cup program.
I think they're ready. The rehearsal, the dress rehearsal, and everything. They already got a win in the bag during that process. I think they're more than ready to get the job done on a full-time basis in the top level. All right. Let me just pull up a few more things, and then we will discuss the championship and all that stuff because we are getting close to the end. It is almost there.
Yeah.
It's 4 races to go.
Wow.
Hard to believe. 3 races in the next round.
Yeah, and this season went by fast, I just realized. I thought yesterday we just watched the Daytona 500 yesterday, but we're already October. The championship race is less than a month away the championship race falls on my birthday this year on the 7th. Other than that, it's this. It's passed by fast.
Yeah, it sure did.
I forgot. It's we're already October. Season ends in November. Then they got those. They have 3 test sessions. The new car, and then they get to the LA Coliseum. That's kind of weird to say that for the Clash, which I don't know how that's going to be. But then they got Daytona, and it's going to be.
What I'm going to say. I'm going to say is that I was once told, always remember that a month is just 4 weeks long.
Yeah.
After those 4 weeks, a month, another month, and here we are. All right, let's take a look at the championship standings now. Now it's all set and done. The round of 12 is over. Out of the round of 12, no longer in the playoffs, including Alex Bowman, William Byron, Christopher Bell, and Kevin Harvick. That leaves us with 8. And remember how it works when you enter the new round. For this round of 8, you get 4,000 points. You add 4,000 plus the amount of bonus points that you acclaimed entering the round, and that's where you're seated. That's why the stage points are so important leading up to this round in particular.
But the leader, Kyle Larson, has the points lead, 4,065 points. So he has 65 bonus points. Second place is Denny Hamlin with 30. He has 35 points ahead. So that Kyle Larson, he's won a lot of stages, which quite, helps Larson with getting points, and his wins help. So yeah, that's good for Kyle Larson. Being 30 points ahead.
Yeah, actually 35.
Yeah, 35. Yeah, 35.
Denny Hamlin, 4,030 points, 30 bonus points. Martin Truex Jr., 4,029 points, 29 bonus points. And Ryan Blaney, who was last on the cut line, because this will bring us into the Championship 4 race, 4,024 points, 24 bonus points. Now 1 point behind Ryan Blaney. Now we're going from 5th to 8th, the guys that need to get up there to get in. Kyle Busch, 4,023, 23 bonus points. Chase Elliott, 4,022, much like last year, he entered the round beneath the cut line, 22 bonus points. Joey Logano, 4,013 in points, 13 bonus points. And Brad Keselowski, 4,008 points, 8 bonus points for the 2012 champion. And the races that consist in this round, we have our final 500-mile race of the season, the Texas 500, the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 500 this Sunday. And then we have our final speedway race of the year at Martinsville.
Martinsville?
Kansas. I don't know why am I
intermediate? I was about to say.
No, I don't think Martinsville being intermediate. Let's not give NASCAR ideas. NASCAR's already ignored the fans in terms of other things.
Kansas,
the Kansas 400, and then they go back east one more time at Martinsville for 500 laps, last short track race of the year, and we go to the uniquely built 1 mile track that has changed for 3 different occasions. Latest being in 2018 to conclude the championship with the Final Four winner-take-all race. The highest of the 4 drivers that are in the Final Four, they win the championship. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's not like last year remember last year the top 4 in the championship would start top 4 in the race, but remember, they have a practice and a qualifying for the all 3 series.
I'm glad NASCAR did that.
Yeah, so they're going to have a practice on Saturday, quali on Sunday morning, and then the race on Sunday.
It makes sense.
Yeah, for all series, Xfinity and trucks will have practice and qualifying, so going to be interesting. It's single qualifying, not group like the road courses. It's single car, which makes sense for a smaller track. You see who gets the fastest.
In fact, by the way, to correct you on that, NASCAR ended group qualifying on ovals.
Yeah.
Actually, in 5 races on the road 2 years ago. So.
Oh yeah,
not going to be an issue, luckily.
Right.
But I will say is that I'm glad that NASCAR made the decision. Do not put teams under that pressure, under anxiety of what's going to happen if I race, off the bat. It's not going to be worth it.
Yeah, but because remember mainly one reason they removed the group qualifying. Remember that qualifying at Auto Club?
Yeah, that fiasco.
In round 3, everybody did not make it to the line, so they took the round 2 times. That put Austin Dillon on pole. It's so many.
I can't believe it took them that long after the 2015 Daytona mess to learn that group qualifying just does not work on ovals.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about what happened on Sunday. We got to get into what happened on Saturday. Yeah. Now, what happened on Saturday, I think it was more or less driver experience. I mean, Kyle Larson had the driver experience, but on Saturday, it was AJ Allmendinger. It seemed like it came down to the road course aces that took this race by storm and never looked back. And I'm not surprised by the end result. In fact, what I'm not surprised by with this as well is that AJ is 3 for 3 perfect in this circuit. He didn't run the inaugural race of the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval in 2018, but he ran in 2019 as a road course ringer for Colleague Racing.
Yep.
He's been with ever since. He wins that one with ease. That's sunshine, right? Autumn temperatures. And then 2020 rolls around, and of course, the 2020 way of life means that we're going to have some really bad rain, a lot of bad rain. And it was torrential rain. He kept the car on track. I was looking at Chase Briscoe saying, man, can the F1 team sign him? And then AJ, he was so steady on the lap times. And yes, they ran that race cold turkey because of the COVID rules.
Yeah.
So no one had any practice time. He still won that. And it's shiny again. Overcast skies, he wins the race. So, I shouldn't be surprised at all. He led 21 laps. He didn't win his stage. No. Daniel Hemrick and the guys at Jacobs Racing made sure that wasn't going to happen. And that's a smart move, by the way. You get more points out of that for the next round. AJ Allmendinger's 10th career win. This is a historic win for AJ Allmendinger in the NASCAR Xfinity Series because he surpasses Marcos Ambrose's previous record of 5 wins for the most wins on a road course of all time. The all-time leader of road course wins in the NASCAR Xfinity Series is now in the hands of AJ Allmendinger. He got his 6th win on a road course, and now he's basically going for a championship. I mean, the first season of all these new road courses coming in, and AJ Allmendinger is taking advantage of that for this year's Xfinity Series. If anything, Austin Cindric fans have to be a little careful. Yeah, it's easy to defend a championship that you won in a series like this from last year, but AJ is not like a 5th to 10th kind of guy. No, he's like 1st to 5th on a weekly basis, and that's what makes him so good.
Yeah.
So he says 10th career win, and 6 of them were on road courses. 4 of them are on ovals.
Yep.
So that surpasses Marcos Ambrose on the record books for most wins on a road course. I think all of Ambrose's 5 wins were on road courses. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
And then remember, the old record was actually Ron Fellows.
Yeah.
Is it 4 wins?
Yeah, 4. Yeah, 4 wins.
Yeah, 3 from the Glen, and then that one race he had at Montreal.
Yep.
See, I remember these races by heart. But yeah, Austin Cindric finished in 2nd, and likewise to the Daniel Hemrick strategy, prevent the guys in front of you from getting those stage points. So he led 22 laps, started first, but 2nd place is not bad. You want to keep up with your competitor. In this, Daniel Hemrick, a track that he sure marked on the calendar going into this year, while on stage 1 and stage 2, led 17 laps, started 3rd, finished 3rd. And I know he wants that first win so badly, but guess what? For the 3rd time in his Xfinity Series career, he is getting close to a championship. And that is just as great as going to victory lane, and he's doing all the right things. And Daniel Hemrick is leading Joe Gibbs Racing in this progress. So we're going to see how that goes. Because there's 3 races remaining. And you know what? He's pretty good at those intermediate tracks. Let's not rule out his consistency.
But his actual best intermediate is Texas. That's his best track with his stats. So see how that goes.
All right. 4th place, Justin Haley. I know that Justin Haley worked hard to stay in the round, go through the round 12, get into the round of 8. He did just that. He started 5th. Brandon Jones makes it through the round of 12. He started 6th. Noah Gragson is going to continue his great runs. He's went from down, down, down to up, up, up in the last 3 months. And that continues with a run like he had on Saturday. Now, he didn't have the best race. I know he led just 1 lap, but that's still a good finish for Noah Gragson compared to all the adversity he had to face for most of this year. How about Preston Parnis getting a career best finish of 7th? He started 30 positions back in 37th. Now, that's a great run.
Yeah.
Myatt Snyder is the first driver I mentioned here in the results to get eliminated from the championship. He started 13th. A good run. A lot of expectations were high for the Roval or Myatt Snyder, but there was just better drivers out there that were in the positions above him.
Yeah.
Justin Allgaier survived the round of 12 to make it to the round of 8. I know he's knocking on the door so many times to get that NASCAR Xfinity Series championship, and this could be his year, likewise to the years before. And Sam Mayer, teammate of Justin Allgaier, rounds out the top 10. He had a great race, started 15th. I know he had some incidents towards the end, but still managed to bring it home in 10th. Not a bad race at all.
Yeah, solid run for it. Was his first time at that track ever in any series at the Roval. So good run for Sam Mayer and that Junior Motorsports team. Doing solid.
He's a solid driver for sure. I know a lot of years down the road he's going to continue that success in NASCAR. Let's go down with more results. Jeremy Clements, second driver I mentioned that is eliminated from the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs. He started in 11th, finished 12th. Jeb Burton, unfortunately, never got to recover from the bad race he had at Talladega. He started 7th, finished 13th.
Yeah.
And Riley Herbst was just shuffled down to 34th, never recovered.
Yeah, but
he was already in a must-win situation after his retirement at Talladega. So
and he also retired out of the race. Suspension broke on the car. He couldn't make it out because, like he said, the suspension broke. You can't drive with a broken suspension. All places a road course, so he had to go to the garage. Car was destroyed. He couldn't go back out. So, yeah.
So that concludes the round of 12. We go to the round of 8, which will likewise to which we said what was said for the Cup Series. Will determine the championship 4 race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We have 335 miles at Texas. Then we have Kansas.
300 miles
for Kansas.
Yep. 300. Martinsville. Yep. 250. Yep. They did. Yeah, Martinsville. On Saturday night after the truck race, and then we got the finale at Phoenix again.
But here's the good news for these Xfinity guys. Unlike the Cup Series, like we mentioned, Texas Motor Speedway was on the Xfinity calendar this year.
Yeah, but the driver that won won't be in the field. Kyle Busch. John Hunter's in that 54 this weekend, just to let people know. But
that car is still competing for an owner's championship, so it's not like we can rule them out.
Yeah. But
he has to do well.
Yeah, but the thing about how the points work, instead of being like 4,000 points, because they started with 2,000 points in the round of 12, now it's 3,000 plus the bonus points right now.
All right, let's take a look at the seeding as we get set for the round of 8. In first seed with 50 bonus points. Remember, 3,000 plus the amount of bonus points you get is where you placed. AJ Allmendinger, 3,050 in points, 50 bonus points. Austin Cindric in second with 3,044 points, 44 bonus points. That is a 6-point difference between the top two. Third place, Justin Allgaier, 3,021 points. 21 points he has earned in the bonus category. And Noah Gragson, Allgaier's teammate, is fourth on the cut line. In fact, he was 1 point above the cut line. 3,017 points, 17 bonus points. And then beneath the cut line, just 1 point behind the cut line, 3,016 points, is Daniel Hemrick for Joe Gibbs Racing. Number 3 Joe Gibbs Racing cars are in this mix. I'll mention that the presence in this round of 8 in a minute. Justin Haley, 3,015 points, 15 bonus points. He is 6th. Harrison Burton, unlike his cousin Jeb, I was about to mention, is able to make it into the round of 8, but only 8 bonus points, or 3,008 points, just 8 bonus points. He's got some work to do, and so will his teammate Brandon Jones. 3,003 points with just 3 bonus points. That's why these stage points are important. And really just getting yourself ready for being in a position like this. It's crucial to staying in the championship. And here's what I was going to say. One Ford, we have mostly Chevys, all but 3 Toyotas, and a Ford are Chevrolets. All right, that's pretty much what consists of the round of 8. Hendrick, of course, by himself for Team Penske, AJ Allmendinger and Justin Haley of Colleague Racing, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson for Junior Motorsports, Daniel Hemrick, Harrison Burton, and Brandon Jones make up the 3 Toyotas from Joe Gibbs Racing. So there's a lot of teamwork that we might be seeing in this round of 8. Might just have to do what Penske is going to have to do, or Gibbs in Cup. So just work together, or in this case, the 2 Hendrick cars.
Yeah.
What do you think, Justin?
I feel like for some teams, they'll be working together because, like, they know that there's only 4 spots to grab, and 3 of those, like, there's 4 spots to grab, and Joe Gibbs wants 3 of them to be their drivers. Brandon Jones.
Let's not forget 4 cars, but 3 drivers.
Yeah.
Car 54 has a championship to compete for in the owners' championship, the team's battle.
Yeah, which in the teams, because I do type the team owner standings after the race, currently the top 8 in the owner standings are the 16, the 22, 54, 7, 9, 18, 11, and 1. So the 20 is not in there, but the 19 did not even make the owner standing playoffs. The 8 was eliminated with the 2, the 10, and the 20. So they got Colleague Racing, number 16 and 11, the Team Penske 22, the Gibbs 54, the 2 Junior Motorsports cars 7, 9, the 18 Joe Gibbs entry 6. So it's Colleague, Penske, JGR, Junior Motorsports, Gibbs, Colleague, and the last car in this 8 car is the number 1. Michael Annett currently driving that car, but Josh Berry ran races.
He's done a lot of good stuff to help that car be in a position to compete for this kind of honor. It's a great maneuver. Now, I know I don't think they're going to really go all out for it. Maybe let Michael Annett just finish the season off in his terms, because we know he announced that he's going to retire. But regardless, if they're in a position, they might go for it. But I think the focus might be on the 7 and the 9.
Yeah.
For Joe Gibbs Racing, there's a lot to fight for.
Yeah.
In this, and we'll see where that goes. Remember, it's the same format as for the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
So 3 races remaining, and that's it. We'll continue our NASCAR Xfinity Series discussion after we recap more races. It's going to time that we go ahead and shift our discussion into Formula One. And wow, I mean, I don't know what to say except I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it turned out to be like this, and we didn't see it in Russia, but we finally got to see this opportunity shine. Just one more shining moment. I forgot the song. I think it's called One Shining Moment, but yeah, Valtteri had his one shining moment this year at Istanbul Park in the Turkish Grand Prix, getting his 10th career win. It's nice to see him back on the top of the podium. Valtteri Bottas, we know where he's going at this point.
Yep.
And to be honest, a lot of people say, well, he deserves better. Well, it's hard to get in a good seat in Formula One.
Yeah, it is, because there's driver academies. Some drivers stay just in their cars and don't want to move teams. And also, remember, we have the changes for 2022, the new car. The new Formula One regulations happen. Yep. We don't know which teams are going to move up or to move down. There's always teams that move down. Like, remember Williams won the 97 championship? 98, the regulations change. McLaren became the best team. Williams dropped in performance. It's the same thing. We don't know who's going to drop in performance and who's going to be better in performance.
We saw it with Red Bull. It took a long time for them to get up to stride. And now they better make the right changes going to the next configuration. The last time it happened, Mercedes, no one could really reach them.
No, it was hard to reach Mercedes, and this is Valtteri Bottas with this win, his only winless season at Mercedes was his 2018 season. With him winning, he only has one winless season at Mercedes. So he got the win. He led 49 laps out of 58.
The fastest lap. His 18th career pole. His 65th time on the podium. 65 podiums with 10 wins. Now, doesn't that seem uneven?
But yeah,
that's what happens when you're a number 2 driver in
F1. But not just that. He also didn't drive before Mercedes. He drove for Williams. Well, but 2013.
Williams, though.
Yeah, 2013 he drove his first season at Williams. That car was so bad. Do you want to know how bad that was?
It's pretty bad.
Valtteri got 4 points. Maldonado got 1.
And you don't have the best teammate to be with as a rookie, so.
Well, what? Pastor Maldonado, he won a Grand Prix, Joseph.
Well, then again, Spencer Gallagher won an NASCAR Xfinity Series race.
Yeah, but then he joined with Massa, and then that's when they built the car. Actually, 2016 they finished 3rd in the constructors, but then they fell down a bit. 2017, 2018 they had Stroll and Sirotkin.
Don't even ask about 2019 and 2020.
Oh well, 2020 was better than 2019. But they still finished last in 2020. But 2019, the car was even worse. But 2021, Williams really improved. They're at 23 points and 8th in the Constructors, which is still impressive for them. But Valtteri Bottas getting a win. Really good to see Valtteri back.
I think Alfa Romeo should be excited to have a guy like him lead this team.
Yeah.
And now, whatever happens to the management or whatnot, that's not the discussion right now.
No.
Whether Andretti is going to come in and he's going to take over and Colton, timeout. We're not there yet.
No, we don't even know if that's going to happen. Yeah, what happens if Colton Herta decides to stay in IndyCar? That's the thing. We don't know what Giovinazzi.
Michael Andretti's first entry into Formula One wasn't the best, but hey, he's a great owner, driver, of course.
Yeah, but we don't know about Giovinazzi. We don't know what. Yeah,
and that's, I think, for the news to tell us what's going to happen. Let's continue on. Max Verstappen, he exactly executed what he needed to do to stay in this World Championship fight, and because he didn't have the best showing at Sochi in the Russian Grand Prix, Max, of course, lost out. We knew that Red Bull was probably most worried about that round. They still did fine. But finishing ahead of Hamilton is what's going to get you a World Drivers' Championship. Ask Nico Rosberg. In this era, that's the only way it happened.
Yeah, but
he, of course, I know he was in-house, but this is a different team, not Mercedes. But Max, he's got his 54th career podium. He started second. And you know what? Valtteri Bottas, if he was a little more reachable, we might have seen Max on top of the podium.
Yeah, but the thing is, Max said the Mercedes were too quick for him. He actually said that Valtteri was too quick. Like, it proved at Istanbul, the first 2 practice sessions were dominated by Mercedes. Like, even Max said that the Mercedes just gained speed. Like, remember Italy when Mercedes upgraded their cars? Since Italy, Mercedes has been faster than Red Bull by a few tenths a lap, which does help Lewis and Valtteri. Which Max is and also Max has been more, Max says he's more under pressure now with Mercedes' upgrade. And he's saying that Lewis and Valtteri are starting to perform, getting faster. So, yeah, it's going to be, I know Max has the points lead, but heading into Coda, that's Lewis's track again. Most of these tracks we go to, Lewis is so good at them. So it's hard to beat Lewis Hamilton at good tracks. When Mercedes upgraded their cars, not massive upgrades, because why would you do a massive upgrade when the new regulations come in?
You want to save financially.
Yeah, they did some upgrades to up performance, and those upgrades did help. Not like Ferrari said they upgraded the car last year. And
everything Ferrari says is something that they have not done.
Yeah, it's like they said they upgraded the car. The car was even worse.
13 years and counting. They're not Constructors Champions. They're not Driver Championships for a reason.
No, that's why they're 4th in the Constructors behind McLaren. But better than last year. But other than talking about Ferrari being bad, Max tried everything, but just couldn't catch Valtteri.
Hey, he got the job. Valtteri got the job done, not making sure Max doesn't win this Grand Prix, keeping the fast lap away from him. Max Verstappen did his job and staying in front of Lewis Hamilton by all means. Sergio Perez, let's talk about Checo for a moment. I hope they bring him in for next year.
Yeah,
it would be great to see him, race another year with Red Bull. He's a great driver, a superb run, getting a podium, his 13th career podium, starts 6th. A double points day for Red Bull is going to help in the Constructors Championship. You got to have races like this when Mercedes aren't having races like this.
Yeah, but the thing is, we'll talk to Constructors to see what the points look like.
Right. Charles Leclerc led for 9 laps. He started 3rd, finished in 4th. A nice solid run for the Monegasque driver. Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Double points for Mercedes. He started in 11th, finished in 5th, getting those points.
Yep. He said
Let's go ahead, Justin.
I was going to say, he said after the race, if he didn't pit, he would have finished better. But he said, with these wet tires, that you get degradation on the tires, Remember this happened to Stroll last year when he pitted. After he pitted, he struggled. This is what happened to Hamilton, and he was mad at his team.
Yeah, it was very vocal after the race and during the race on the radio.
But But yeah, still starting 11th to get up there decently, not bad for Lewis Hamilton from starting P11.
And it's always a risk to having to take an engine penalty because you never know what a start of Grand Prix is. There is no promises it'll make it out to the end of the lap.
Yeah, but we know Lewis is happy for Coda, which is the next round. So Hamilton's racetracks again are like all his
like
good
Mark Marquez going to track. He likes it. He went there again.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton in the Merc, which Merc has upgraded the car and showing the speed again. So, and Max is probably like, oh no, why do we got to go to these good tracks for Lewis except Qatar that nobody's
Qatar
ran.
might be his best friend, and so might be Jeddah Street Circuit when they had the Saudi.
And then they got the
Yas Marina, but unfortunately they changed the layout for Yas Marina Circuit.
Yeah, but my question is the race going to be actually exciting there, or just a normal sleeping? I don't know.
It was a sleepy Grand Prix last year.
Well, somebody played Monopoly instead. That's how boring the race was. Other than talk about that, but Lewis ended up getting points from 11. Still, solid points day for Lewis Hamilton.
Absolutely, he executed. One thing I know about Lewis Hamilton is even if he's fighting his own car, he's unhappy with the car being driving, he still finds a way to overperform a bad handling race car.
Oh yeah,
that's why he's such a great driver on the track and get all these titles.
Yeah, 7-time champion. Like, remember that 2008 car, the McLaren, was not the best? Yeah, that car was not even the best. He ended up winning the title. I know he got by a point, but still managed to do good with that car that wasn't good. So it proves how good Lewis Hamilton is that people don't want to admit that he's good, but he's actually talented.
Raw talent.
Whew.
Let's continue on with some of the other points-paying finishers. Pierre Gasly, this is another Pierre Gasly kind of Grand Prix where he overperforms in the AlphaTauri. Started in 4th, finished in 6th, never left the points positions at all.
Yeah.
Lando Norris, another perfect Lando race. Finding a way to get points no matter what he's got to go through in the Grand Prix.
Yep.
Brings it home in 7th. Carlos Sainz Jr. is our final double points entity, of course, for Ferrari.
But
double points. Started 19th. That was a tough race for him.
Yeah, he had to change some elements of the power unit, but still, 19th to 8. He gained 11 spots. Solid run for Carlos Sainz. Like, I know people say, oh, it's all Leclerc, but Sainz has been doing good, too, this season. That in his first season with Ferrari, which I'm glad, like, people said, oh, remember with how bad the 2020 car, people were making these memes about Sainz looking to try to be a Williams test driver instead. But the Ferrari's cars improved from last year. That car last year was, you couldn't do anything. This car's improved, but still, good run for Sainz after starting in the back of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. 2 points to Lance Stroll. He finished 9th, started 8th. And Esteban Ocon for Alpine Renault gets one more point. The final point in the 10th position.
But do you want to know what's interesting about Esteban Ocon? He broke a record that happened 24 years ago. He's the first driver in 24 years to finish a race without making a pit stop. That, usually, everybody made a pit stop. He stayed out the whole distance with these tires and still got a top 10.
That's insane.
But, back...
I didn't even know that.
They used to have a rule that you couldn't change tires, but with normal pit stops, you got to change tires and stuff. He did not pit because you don't need to pit. In the wet conditions, you don't need to pit,
Not at all.
No, he stayed out the whole race on the same set of tires and still finished in the points. That is, I don't even know how Esteban did that on the same tires for the whole Grand Prix. I guess but good point. A good point for Ocon after driving a car with the same old tires for a whole 58 lap run.
That's insane.
Yeah, I never expected to see that record. Yeah, but outside the points.
All right, let's take a look at the World Championship now, because they have a break, and then for the first time in 2 years, they will be going overseas across the Atlantic Ocean into the Americas. They'll be racing at Circuit of the Americas for the U.S. Grand Prix. The next race is U.S. Grand Prix. We have 6 races to go. at 3 different parts of the world, or at 2 different areas in the world in 3 races. They go to 3 races in the Americas across the Atlantic, and then they go into the Middle East for 3 different races to close this year's World Championship. So we have U.S., Mexico, and Brazil, and then it's Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Abu Dhabi, and that's it. This World Championship will come to an end, and so will this era. All right, let's talk about the World Drivers' Championship now. Max Verstappen regains the points lead to 6-point advantage. Over Lewis Hamilton. 262.5, 256.5 with 177 points in third is Valtteri Bottas. He's seemingly pulling away from Lando Norris in the fight for third in the World Drivers' Championship. Lando Norris does add a few points to his tally, but is at 145 in fourth, 10 over Sergio Perez, who's at 135. That podium certainly helped Checo's cause in getting back to that fourth spot. Carlos Sainz Jr. got points. He's at 116.5, a half point behind his teammate Charles Leclerc. Double points for Ferrari, not a bad run. Let's see. Daniel Ricciardo did not get any points. He sits at 95 in eighth. Ninth place, Pierre Gasly with 74 points, a nice addition to his count. And Fernando Alonso, unfortunately, he never recovered from that first lap incident, and it sits at 10th with 58 points. Let's take a look at the World Constructors Championship. It's 36 points.
Mercedes extends it. Like, I knew right as I remember, Joseph, me and you were talking about Scott. Remember, I calculated the points. I said, "Oh, it'll be 36 points," and that's actually right. That Mercedes still extends, even though Lewis is not leading the points, the driver's standings. They're still ahead in the constructors, which it's hard to beat Mercedes.
No one's safe. They're not safe. No, it's not safe.
But heading in a coda where Valtteri's won there and Lewis and Mercedes been good there, so it's going to be kind of hard for Red Bull to try to get by Mercedes in that event.
There are going to be a lot of Checo fans there for sure because I know there's the Mexican Grand Prix, but Circuit of the Americas in Texas, that's not too far. So 397.5 for Red Bull Racing Honda. They got to get to 433.5. Chase that. Now in third, there's a quest to get third, mainly between these two constructors. McLaren Mercedes at 240 points. In third with Ferrari, in fourth with 232.5 points.
Yeah, it's close. Ferrari's closed up there.
Very close. Fifth place is Alpine Renault at 104 points. Not a good run, I'd say, because you usually expect better with those two drivers. But, things go out of your hands sometimes in F1. Sixth place, AlphaTauri Honda, 72 points, trying to pull away from Aston Martin Mercedes. They've been struggling to get points, especially when the double points count. 61 points for them. Williams Mercedes in eighth with 23 points. Ninth place is AlphaTauri. Alfa Romeo Racing Ferrari.
Okay, I was about to say another AlphaTauri team secretly came in. But 7 points. And then you know what team is last place. Haas Ferrari, the big zero again. But do you want to know what? But Joseph, I remember during the Joseph, remember during the race yesterday? Remember we saw Vettel's on board? We thought he was on slicks. Remember we thought he was on, wet tires? Whoever at Aston Martin put slick tires on his car, he ended up finishing 18th because of it. It's like, in my head, I'm like, who decided to put slick tires at a wet track? And he almost spun in the pit lane.
Yeah, I was not happy about it, of course, being a Vettel fan. It was certainly a gut punch to watch my driver lose a chance of getting points. Yeah,
driving on slick tires. Right as I saw, I'm like, oh, it's Vettel. I'm like, wait, those are wets? I looked, it's medium tires. I'm like, wow, whoo, just we'll throw mediums on. And he almost crashed, so he had to come back in the pits to get the wet tires again.
That was pretty pathetic on the part of the Aston Martin team.
That's a thing that I've never expected. It's like that one time a guy was playing F1 2021, and somebody he ran a short race, so pitting would be usually mediums. Sainz was on the hards. Ferrari gave him hard tires instead, which is it's like hey, at least Ferrari didn't do that for putting slicks on one of their cars. No, it ended up being Aston Martin putting slicks on Vettel's car. Which, yeah, other than that, at least the Grand Prix was not the worst. It was decent. Better than, yeah, it was not like last year where people were sliding every corner. It's not that surface this year. So there was grip at every point of the track, which was good for the drivers. And next race, the United States Grand Prix at Coda. It'd be interesting when we race at Coda.
Yeah, well, let's look at it, shall we? Here's what I'm going to say. For this year, I mean, we got the 24th of October, the U.S. Grand Prix, so we got a week in between.
Yep.
And then on the 7th of November, we have the Mexico Grand Prix, or Mexico City, as they call it now.
Yep. Then the 14th. Your birthday. Yeah, your birthday. You have Brazil. On my birthday, I have Mexico. So yeah, we go to Brazil, which is somehow in my time zone. I don't still understand why that exists, but then we go to Qatar.
First ever run at the Losail International Circuit, which is a fixture in the MotoGP calendar for you motorcycle fans.
Yeah.
21st November. So that's was that 3 weeks in a row?
Yeah, because we got the off week. December 5th is, the Abu Dhabi Street Circuit, the Jeddah, or not Abu Dhabi.
Saudi Arabian Street.
I was but
Corniche Circuit in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The inaugural Saudi Arabian Grand Prix on the 5th of December, and then a week from that would be the closing race in the World Championship, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the Yas Marina Circuit. So that's almost exactly 2 months from now.
Yeah, I just realized that the race at Abu Dhabi is literally 13 days before Christmas. If people like Christmas, but I don't even know why I'm talking about Christmas. Halloween's not even past
yet. If you're a Chase Elliott fan, you wish Kevin Harvick a happy Christmas.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of funny.
Why does that sound like, oh my gosh? But other than
as if he's not on the grid,
Yeah, but next year, 2022, it could be different. Harvick can be good. We'll see what the new car does.
Can he adapt to this new car? He's adapted to many cars in the Cup Series and succeeded in them. I mean,
he
drove for all the drivers.
Yeah, Harvick drove the Gen 4, the COT, then the Gen 6, and the Gen 7. But so yeah, after Boss. Yeah, Red Sox
run homer for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, they lead 2-1, but
you have to win 3 games to move on in the series, so the Rays have to win it.
Yeah.
I'm saying the Rays because I don't know where they're going to be playing next year. No offense to you guys over there in Tampa.
Yeah, but at least the Rays are better than the Toronto Blue Jays, who keep just not doing anything every season almost. But what other motorsports do we have to cover?
Oh yeah, we got sports car racing. That was where our next
point is. I was about to say it's not World Baseball Media. That's not a channel yet. But sports.
I still think they should be in the Olympics in 2024.
But we had good sports car events. We had decent sport. We're
going to talk about a lot of championships came to an end. We're going to bring up the IMSA series event, of course, at VIR GT road race that happened, and of course, we will bring up the championship scenarios. So, of course, the 12 race championship penultimate round closed the Sprint Cup season. The sprint rounds are over after Saturday's race ended. And then we have the conclusion of the 12 race championship and the 4 race endurance championship, which of course are the 4 races that have endurance lengths. Daytona's 24 hours, the Sebring 12 hours, the Watkins Glen 6 hours, and the 10 hours Road Atlanta race known as Petit Le Mans, which closes the entirety of the season. So we're going to break all this down for you. Let me just go on resultsetups.com. I like that. I like that they have all camel platform and all that stuff. But All right, let's take a look at the provisional results after the end of Saturday's sprint closing race. And yeah, there were only 3 cars, of course, in the overall class. This furthest one being the GTLM class, but it's still showed that it was a fun, exciting race, and came down to the end, very end. Tommy Miller, Nick Taney took the win for Corvette Racing and the Chevrolet Corvette C8R. They completed 87 laps. In fact, the top 3 overall finished on the same lap. Second place is the car that's competing for the GT Drivers Championship. Antonio Garcia, Nick Taney, or Antonio Garcia and Jordan Taylor. I know. I see. I can't trust myself sometimes. Jordan Taylor, Antonio Garcia, second. They're competing for the championship, Drivers Championship. Completing 87 laps. It's hard to be a Red Sox fan and not let what's going on not distract me from this.
But then the podium in that class.
Yeah, and then the podium in class and overall, of course, 79 car Proton competition brought Kevin Estre to drive the WeatherTech Porsche this time. And boy, did it really work and almost paid off.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Cooper McNeil beside completing 87 laps. That was a great run for them.
Yeah, it was competition was close at one point. Holy cow. It was close. They were all battling for the lead and lap. The GTDs were in the way a bit. And oh my gosh, it was interesting.
Yeah, it certainly was. And it was a little bit controversial, no action was taken on any of the contact between the 3 cars that were competing for the overall win. And that's, I said a few times, hey, we could see a car from the GTD class win this race overall one of these days.
But
just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
But in GTD, which was 4th overall, number 9. Yep, the number 9, Pfaff Motorsports Porsche. Zachary Robichon, Lawrence Vantor. They are the points leader in the main series championship.
Outright championship.
Yeah, they're leading the GTD points in the main championship.
Let's continue on the results, though. We'll get there in a minute. P2, so close to the Sprint Cup Championship, but just shy of it was car number 1, the Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo with Madison Snow and Brian Sellers. They were so close.
Yeah.
It was a tight battle towards the end, but just wasn't enough for them to surpass the Heart of Racing Team Aston Martin to get it done. But they did do what they needed to do. They accomplished what they had to get done to win the Manufacturers Championship for Lamborghini in the Sprint Cup. So well done on that part.
Yeah.
And rounding out the class podium was car number 14, the Vassar Sullivan Lexus RCF GT3, driven by Aaron Telitz and Jack Hawksworth, completing 85 laps. 4th place in class was the number 16 Wright Motorsports Porsche 911 GT3R, driven by Trent Hinman and Patrick Long. And 5th place, congratulations to these guys, Ross Gunn, Roman DeAngelis, number 23, Heart of Racing Team Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT3, Roman DeAngelis, Ross Gunn. The Heart of Racing Team, they are your 2021 WeatherTech GTD Sprint Cup champions. Remember, this is a GTD class only championship. The Sprint Cup lasts 8 races, and it consists of the rounds that are not the endurance races that the GT class runs in. So this is a great showing for them, and I think they got a lot to be proud of. And they're both factory drivers for Aston Martin Racing, so keep an eye out for them. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the final standings for the 2021 IMSA WeatherTech GTD Class Sprint Cup Championship. And, of course, that was won, like we just said, Heart of Racing Team, number 23, Aston Martin Vantage, MR GT3 with 2,539 points. Second place, it was just 19 points the gap, but it wasn't enough for the number 1 Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo with 20 points. Third place in the final standings was the number 14 Vassar Sullivan Lexus RCF GT3 with drivers Aaron Telitz and Jack Hawksworth with 24:07 points. Fourth place, this team really took a gutting blow in the last several races. That was the 96 Turner Motorsport BMW M6 GT3 with 2196 points. And in fifth place in the final standings in the class was the number 12 Asher Sullivan Lexus RCF GT3 with 2130 points. However, while Paul Miller Racing wasn't able to get the job done to win the team championship for the Sprint Cup, they were able to help Lamborghini win the Manufacturers Championship. So congratulations to Lamborghini. The Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo picked up just 10 points that they needed over Aston Martin.
Yeah.
In the Aston Martin Vantage MR GT3 model. Just 10 points the gap between the top two. And, of course, third place, Lexus solidly were in the fight to win that with 2636 points in their RCF GT3. Yeah. Fourth place, Porsche in the Classic 911 GT3R, 2605 points. Really close. I mean, the top five were like 50, top four, 50 points apart. BMW only had one full entry in the Sprint Cup, which was Turner Motorsports. So they were fifth with 2401 points. Mm-hmm. Audi in sixth with 2252 points with the R8 LMS GT3 Evo. Yeah. By the way, the BMW M6 GT3 is going to be shifting to the M4 model next year.
Yeah.
Pending homologation. Same with Audi. They have the R8 LMS GT3 Evo 2. We run the Evo, but the Evo 2 is pending homologation for next year as well. Seventh place, Acura, or for most countries, Honda, with the NSX GT3, same vehicle, just different nameplate, 2245 points. Eighth place, Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo with the, they had a few entries that came and went, but it was 1649 points for them. And Ferrari actually only ran the Long Beach race with 252 points, make it a 9 manufacturer battle in the end.
Yeah, because if people were running Mercedes, the 76, 75, and for the Acuras, they only had the 44, the Magnus Archangel entry, and the Gradient number 66, which that 66 car crashed. They crashed out of the race. They hit the barrier hard.
Actually lost to Audi in the battle for sixth in the Manufacturers Championship. Now let's talk about the championship that is still far from over. We're going to go ahead and talk about the GTLM and GTD, and then we'll bring up the prototype teams and what to expect. And you know what? We'll mention them. I'll bring up the Endurance Cup just while we're at the discussion because why not? So now that the GTD Sprint Cup is over, let's talk about the. This is awesome. I'm sorry being a biased Red Sox fan, but I can't hold my emotions watching a game like this.
Well,
I know the Bruins. I have my Bruins cap on as always. New season tomorrow for hockey.
Yeah, but what happens if they lose? What happens if the Bruins start?
We got 82 games to.
Yeah,
what happens for one loss?
What happens if they're 0-82? I don't know how that would be possible.
I don't know. That stuff happens, and
probably that's Buffalo. Buffalo is going to be probably the worst, or Ottawa. Ottawa's just
Buffalo, Ottawa.
Oh,
Seattle's not looking good. I know they're a new team, and everybody's talking about, well, look what happened to the Golden Knights. No, that's bad.
But Seattle in the Prix has not done too bad, which is impressive. They might be decent, not Ottawa and Buffalo bad.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about the outright season though for IMSA and the GT LM Championship. Remember, it's the last season with the LM GTE cars. Next year, they will be running GT3s and having a Pro class as replacement, which eventually will end up in Le Mans. So that will apply to Le Mans in 3 years.
Yeah.
That's for another discussion. Let's talk about what's going on now. Of course, we know 3 cars have been running the full outright championship. Corvette Racing number 3, Antonio Garcia, Jordan Taylor, 3269 points. Big gap. They might be able to just clinch it at some point during the upcoming race.
Yeah.
Run Atlanta. They couldn't clinch it from their finishing position on Saturday, but they're all but done. It's pretty much in their hands. Car number 4, Corvette Racing. This is the Tandy and Milner entry.
Yep.
Third place is the Proton competition WeatherTech Racing Porsche that has been ran all the races by Cooper McNeil and Porsche factory driver of choice, 2974 points.
Oh.
And now they are the two BMWs that are competing for the Endurance Cup with 1,001 points, number 24 for Team RLL, and the sister card, 966 points, card 25, and the one-off appearance from the racing competition, Young Ferrari, and Daytona, got them 308 points.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means I think pretty much it's clinched about. I mean, you get 350 points in a race.
Yeah.
Corvette's all got it now. 3,385 points in the Manufacturers Championship. 3,164 points for the Porsche. BMW, 10,052 or 1,052 and Ferrari 330. I don't know, say 10,000 me.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, that's a bit. If they're 10,000, but Corvettes ran more races, 10,000. I'm like, there's a bit of calculations.
Of course.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks like the 3 Corvettes gonna get it. They're just that 3's been so solid this season. The 4's had decent races the last few races, but the number 3 looks just so dominating. You just see the 3 saying goodbye, field. Almost every race, you just see the 3 just leaving.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in GT Daytona, and then I want to talk about the prototype categories, because we have to do some refreshing with the prototypes, and then bring up the Endurance Cup. That's going to take a lot of refreshing because we haven't had an endurance round in this championship since June.
Yeah.
All right. So GT Daytona going into the final race at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, because Brandon knows everything else. Pfaff Motorsports Porsche.
Yeah.
That is currently enjoying a post-victory Thanksgiving dinner. 2938 points. Paul Miller Racing, Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. So, by the way, the drivers of the 9 are Zachary Robichon and Lawrence Vantor. I think they are committing. They're trying to get into the GTD Pro class for next year.
Yeah.
Let's see where that goes. Paul Miller Racing, number 1. 2,888 points. Now, they still have a lot of opportunities to get there because you remember the increments have changed.
Yeah.
You win a race, you get a lot of points. You get 350 points for a win. Heart of Racing Team, the Sprint Cup champions. Number 23, Heart of Racing Team. Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT3 with Ross Gunn, Roman DeAngelis. 2,761 under points. Fourth place, the Wright Motorsports Porsche. Who's Trent Hinman and Patrick Long, Ryan Hardwick, I think.
Jan Halen,
those guys. Yeah. I know the drivers are not. No 2 drivers in that team ran all the races, so it's just Patrick Long has a chance at the drivers' championship. If the team championship, they still have it. 2,659 in points, and Turner Motorsport, it would be a long shot, but they're in 5th, 2,638 points.
But Turner Motorsport, they took a hit. They were leading until Long Beach. They lost the points lead from Long Beach's accident.
And they also lost the Sprint Cup entirely.
So.
All right, now, we got to bring up the Manufacturers Championship for the outright GTD class. Porsche lead this with 3,077 points, but it's all from Dunn. 75 points behind, or actually, no, 72 points behind is Lamborghini. That's a small gap for this series' language, but 3,005 in their points bag. Aston Martin in 3rd. That's not a bad run for them. Thinking about how many lack of entries that they've had showing up on a weekly basis. Or on a race week basis. 2,889 on the points. BMW in 4th at 2,827 points, and Lexus in 5th at 2,799. Just going down the order. Acura 2,462. Audi 2,221, Mercedes AMG 1,996, and Ferrari 526. So there is one more race to go. Now let's refresh you guys on the prototype situation. Of course, the Premier Class, Daytona Prototype International, DPI, Who's leading the outright championship with one race to spare? Well, it's number 10, Continental Acura for Wayne Taylor Racing. Drivers Ricky Taylor and Felipe Albuquerque.
Yep.
307.1 points for them. 305.2 points, however. It's so close between the top two. Wheeling Engineering Racing's entry for Action Express Racing with drivers, the country mates, Luis Felipe Pipodarani and Luis Felipe Nazar. Yep, they even share the same first name, and they share the same towns, too.
Yeah.
305.2 points for them. Multimatic Motorsports. Last year in this era for the team, they're changing their ways. They're becoming a chassis supplier after this year, and Mazda is leaving Premier Prototype Racing in the United States. They canceled their LMDH program, so if they can get another sprint race win with a bang, that'd be great.
Sprint race?
Endurance race.
Yeah, I was about to say,
endurance. They won the 6 hours of the win. And last year's season.
Yeah, I was about to say 6 hours is an endurance, but 10 hours is not.
No. Okay,
but
288, 2 points. I mean, I think they still mathematically able to get it, but I highly doubt they can.
Yeah.
Same with the car 01. Oh yeah, it was the drivers for that team, Harry Ticknell and
Oliver Jarvis.
Yes, the two British mates and the Canadian built Japanese car. Yes, fourth place. Chip Ganassi Racing, car 01, Cadillac DPI, 2879 points. Drivers Kevin Magnussen and Ranger van der Zan. Dane and the Dutch. Fifth place, long shot. I don't think they were able to get it. Meyershank Racing with Kerber Johnny and Acura Eric 05, 2668 points. I think they might have a good showcase to win the 10-hour race, but
even worse is the 5, the JDC Miller Motorsports Mustang Sampling 5 car. They're really out of that.
2663 in the points, and of course the car 7, the sister car to the 31 Ali Cadillac Racing's entry for Action Express Racing. They only won the endurance races, 897 points for them.
Yeah, so you'll see that 48 entry with Jimmy Johnson. Probably Kobayashi will be in the car. Probably
Rocky's gonna be there too.
Yeah, I know.
All right, now let's go to DPI manufacturers with one race to go in the outright championship. Cadillac with 3311 points. Acura second, 3223, and Mazda, of course, the sole entry, 3039 for them. It's still all but finished over there. Now let's take a look at the Lmp3 class.
Yes, the 52.
Yes, Piero Matheson Motorsports with drivers Ben Keating and Mikkel Jensen.
Yep.
1807 points for them. I know they have a really good advantage, but it's still all from finished.
But the thing is, recently the PR1, their car's just been fast. Any race length they go, they're just fast. So
Imec Sport has been doing a lot to help them out recently, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Second and third, or second place is the Win Autosport Orco 7, 1694 points. Drivers Stephen Thomas, Tristan Nunez,
Thomas Merrill.
Thomas Merrill for the
what
do you call it, for the endurance races. We'll talk about the endurance races in a minute here. Third place, the number 8 Tower Motorsport, car built by Starworks with Gabe Albury and John Ferrano.
Yep.
1634 points. Aero Motorsport, number 18. That car, we've seen a lot from them. Actually, Aero Motorsport. Yeah, we've seen a lot from them too.
Yeah.
That's another. I think IDEX Sports put that car together.
Yeah.
Not Piero Matheson. I don't know what I was thinking. IDEX was helping them. They have 1330 points, and then United Autosport, number 22. They're not running all the races. I think just the sprint races. What I think, 614 points for them. In fact, all of them, I believe, are in Orca 07s.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about the Lmp3 class now. I know it's a little different over there.
Nope. Yeah, it's just a 74. Right.
1,800 points. Now in the driver championship, it's only Gar Robinson that can win it.
Yeah, because he's the only driver full time in that 74. But still,
54, Core Autosport can get it. They're 1,500.
Yeah.
They're 50 points behind.
Yeah.
That's not a large gap. And
nope. Yeah,
that's what they got for the drivers here.
I think it's John Bennett. Yeah, John Bennett, Colin Braun. Yeah.
Colin Brown, John Bennett.
Yeah. Solid lineup in that 54 entry.
Number 91, Riley Motorsports, Ligier, GSP 320, Jim Cox, Dylan Murray. Fourth place is number 38, Performance Tech Motorsports, Ligier. Rasmus Lind is the only driver that can go for the Drivers' Championship.
Yep.
And then fifth place in the Team's Championship is the number 36, Andretti Autosport, Ligier. So that's where it is, 1192 points. And then it's a big drop, pretty much from Sonic Creech Motorsports, Dawson Racing, and onwards. They're not going to be in it.
Yeah,
but they might show up.
Yeah, like Sean Creech, Dawson Racing. Those teams are part-time teams. Yeah, those are part-time teams.
IMSA has a championship for those cars, a one-make championship, or not one-make, but like a spec series for LMP3 cars only, like a sprint race kind of deal.
Yeah, and also there's an actual series for them called the IMSA Prototype Challenge Series. They have a series which some of them, like some of the teams like Sean Creech Motorsports and JR33 Racing and Wolver Racing, they competed a few IMSA races in the LMP3 class. They run full time in the Prototype Challenge Series, which is a competitive LMP3 series. So yeah, so it's gonna be
All right, let's go ahead and look at the GT. Are we already looked at them?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the Endurance Cup. Ooh. So yeah, you have to go to Camel, and you have to go to, what do you call it, 6 Hours Watkins International.
Yep.
Pull that up. I'll leave the tab up for the outright championship, and I'll look at IMEC official championship points. So what do the points look like now? They give it points are incremented differently in this championship. Well, at least for the Drivers' Championship compared to the Team's Championship. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
But actually, no. I take it back. They're the same. Okay. But what they did is to give out points throughout the duration of the race.
Yeah.
Wait. No, they're different. I mean, they are different.
Huh.
Because you see the winners from round one.
Yeah.
They got 33 points. It's a lot different than getting 300-something points. So.
Yeah, it's all different for this endurance.
All right, so yeah, car number 10 has a 3-point advantage over car 55. Wayne Taylor Racing.
Holy crap.
Yes. Felipe Albuquerque, Ricky Taylor, Alexander Rossi over Harry Ticknell, John Bonmarito, and Ollie Jarvis.
Ooh, that's
3
close.
points.
Oof.
Between Wayne Taylor Racing and Multimatic Motorsports. Acura, Mazda. And then number 60 has a say in this. 25 points they have.
Oh, wow.
So where and when can you earn points in the upcoming race at Road Atlanta? 3 times. Hour 4, hour 8, hour 10. You're in a good position. You get points there.
But
same hour 8. And then, of course, the end is where it all counts.
Yeah, but we know that there's some teams that are looking forward to it, like the number 10. They have solid drivers with Alexander Rossi, that he's going to be in the car with the regular drivers. Felipe Albuquerque, who's a fast driver, and Ricky Taylor, who's also fast, racing at Road Atlanta. But it's going to be close, like 3 points.
Let's talk about car 60.
Yeah, 25 back.
Dan Cameron, Olivier Pla,
and Juan Montoya.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, they have all the 3 drivers running in this one, but still a good showing. Kevin Magnuson, of course, and the guys at Chip Ganassi Racing are tied with 4th with the Sebring winner, car number 5.
Yep.
Then we have the Action Express cars. They're actually tied for 5th and 6th between the 31 and the 48. Of course, the 48 run only in the endurance rounds.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Manufacturers Championship for the Endurance Cup. 2 points. Actually, let's make that 4 points between the top 3. Acura 38, Cadillac 36, Mazda 34.
Oh, that's close. Wow, really close.
Yep. I know it takes a lot of refreshing because it's been so long.
But still.
LMP2 teams 1 point between the top two.
Huh?
Yeah.
Who's leading who?
Hero Matheson, 31 points. Tower Motorsport with 30 points. And Hero Motorsport with 28 points.
Oh
Renault
my
Sport,
gosh.
number 11 with 27 points.
Oh
and the
my
Dragon
God.
Speed with 13 points in 5th.
But still, the top 4 are not separated by much heading into oh my. Wow.
Now, in terms of the LMP3
Jeez.
Championship, Riley Motorsports first, second is a lot more one-sided.
Okay.
Top 2 are team cars, 41 points for car 74. Car 91 has 25 points.
Okay.
Car Autosport, they're going to be fighting for the outright championship, probably more than the Endurance Cup, but they are in third with 24 points. 4th place and 5th place are tied with Sean Creech Motorsports, car 33, and Performance Tech Motorsports, car 21. All the cars listed are in Ligiers.
Yeah.
And of course, GTLM. GTLM for the teams championship. It's a close one. In the Endurance Cup, the 3 and the 4 are Corvette Racing, Chevrolet Corvette C8Rs, are separated by 2 points.
Wow.
1 race to spare.
Yep.
Then it's BMW Team RLL with 29 points on car 25 and 26 points on car 24.
Okay.
Car 79, WeatherTech Racing from Proton Competition, 23 points. And Racing Competition only ran the 24 hours of Daytona, getting 8 points out of it.
Okay.
As for the Manufacturers Championship in the Endurance Cup, Chevrolet leads BMW by 2 points, 40 points for Chevrolet, and BMW with 2 points behind. In fact, it'll be the last race probably ever at the M4 GTE.
Yeah, 40 to 38, and then Ferrari 8.
No, we're looking at the manufacturers here.
Yeah, I said
Porsche 26 points.
Oh, I forgot Porsche was in there.
And then Ferrari with 12 points.
Oh, jeez.
Now let's go ahead and look at the GT Daytona class, the Group GT3 category. Now this is very close, very close. So I'm going to go ahead and list out all these teams that have scored from 28 points to 18 points because it's been so long. So Wright Motorsports leads the Porsche team, right? And then they have another Porsche right behind them. Second and third are tied with 27 points, 1 point behind Wright Motorsports. You have the number 9 Pfaff Motorsports Porsche and the number 1 Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini. Then we have the Harder Racing team, number 23 Aston Martin with 22 points.
Wow.
Second place is it's a 3-way tie between the number 14 Vasser Sullivan Lexus, the number 75 Sun Energy 1 Mercedes AMG, and the number 96 Turner Motorsport BMW M6. They all have 21 points, just 7 points behind the leader.
Oof. And
then these guys all have 18 points, and they are in a 5-way tie for 6th.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Number 12 Vasser Sullivan Lexus, number 19 GRT Grasser Racing Team Lamborghini, number 28 Allegra Motorsports Mercedes AMG, the number 44 Magnus with Archangle NSX, and the number 88 Team Hardpoint Porsche.
Okay, I never expected the 5-way tie.
Right.
Interesting.
I mean, we don't even know what the entry list is going to look like for Road Atlanta yet. It's far from confirmed, but still.
Yeah. Really, a thing about the Lightning?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, at least the Lightning have a shot to get a third.
Yeah, pretty much everyone on back beneath tie for 6 are unlikely to run the final race.
Yeah.
Unless proven otherwise. And now the Manufacturers Championship for the Endurance Cup. Porsche have 34 points there in the lead. Second place, Lamborghini with 28 points. Mercedes AMG in third with 26 points. Aston Martin Racing in fourth with 25 points. BMW and Lexus are tied for 5th and 6th with 21 points. Acura NSX 7th with 20 points. Ferrari in 8th with 13 points. And Audi is in 9th with 12 points. We're still a month from the race. There's going to be a lot to break down when we get there.
Yep, November 13th. Right.
right, I'm going to pull up some stuff because we got to talk about some other other sports car racing. We have to bring up the closing race of the VLN Championship, the Nürburgring length-stricken series, formerly known as the VLN. Yeah, so NLS 9 or the 4 hours of Nürburgring. I'm going to pull up the entry list. It was a controversial one.
Oh, yeah.
The top two were assessed penalties when they physically crossed the line,
Oh.
which gave the win to Audi. And in the car that was Phoenix Racing. Car number 5 took the win, the final race win of the Nürburgring Championship with drivers Vincent Kolb and Frank Stippler, Phoenix Racing. They physically finished third and had no idea they ended up winning the race until they were hey, guess what? You won the race. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, we won the race. That's what happened. Second place overall was the car that physically crossed the line first, number 4 Falcon Motorsports GT3R with Martin Radjinger and Sven Mueller. Yeah, I guess a time penalty for something. And third place, these guys received 2 time penalties that pushed them really far back, but they were still lost just 1 spot. Using number 7 Conrad Motorsport Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. Jordan Pepper, Axel Jeffries. Fourth place was the number 3 Falcon Motorsports Porsche, Lars Kern, Dennis Olsen. And fifth place was the number 30 Fricadelli Racing Team Porsche that, of course, ran the special tribute livery in honor of the late Sabina Schmitz all year long. Felipe Lazier and Klaus Zambelin drove that car. In fact, they were Pro-Am class winners. But the team that ended up winning the overall LS VLN Championship, give a call to Adrenaline Motorsport. These guys, they don't run for the overall win. In fact, they're in the V4 class. They just race in the back.
Wow.
Let's be real. They still managed to win the outright championship.
Oh, that's impressive.
Leeson in a BMW 325i. They finished 51st overall in the race.
Oh, my God. That's interesting.
To be fair, it's not really a championship people that they're really supposed to go for. Instead, it's a series where they go to race and get experience at the Nürburgring. But yeah, another season in the books. It's gonna be fun to look on the next year because it's awesome watching all the racing at the Nürburgring circuit. 24-hour race every year is, of course, the headliner. And hopefully we don't have a problematic 24 hours in the Nürburgring. The only thing that's problematic for sports car racing next year is the fact that the SRO group picked a very bad time to hold the 12 hours of Bathurst on the same weekend as Sebring. But that's for another discussion. Who knows? What if we know they're not afraid to change dates at the snap of a finger. So I'm crossing my fingers that it's not going to happen, that they just put the week, push it to a different week. Otherwise, if you want to have missing teams, then go ahead. Just run the race on that weekend. I don't know. You want to sacrifice the drivers from Super Sebring? Yeah, let's not do that. Speaking of SRO group, GT World Challenge Europe finished, and the Endurance Cup is all set and done. The 5th and final race of the SRO group, GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup, took place at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, home of the Spanish Grand Prix, and it ended up being won by Mercedes, not F1.
Yeah, no, it's not F1. But yeah, the
time 71. Find the results of that, and then I'll go ahead with results. But in the end, it was ACA ASP. They took the win. They weren't so strong this year, but like in the endurance rounds, we didn't cover the sprint races, but I heard they were pretty good over there compared to the endurance rounds. So this is where they need to get a lot of work done. All right. So in the end, it was car 88. They completed 95 laps. In fact, you want to know how many cars finished on the same lap?
How many?
19, the top 19 finished the 3-hour race on the same lap overall.
Wow.
Yeah, how about Jules Gunion taking the the overall win, car number 88, ASB Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, with drivers Rafael Marichello and Felipe Fraga picking up the final win of the entire GT World Challenge Europe Championship. And they earned it. It wasn't easy. There were a lot of safety car periods that kept the cars on the same lap. That's why it was so competitive. But it was all worth it in the end. Second place, number 54, Dynamic Motorsport Porsche 911 GT3R completed 95 laps with Matteo Cairoli. Second place finisher, Matteo Cairoli, factory Porsche driver. Klaus Bachler and Christian Engelhardt, all factory drivers for Porsche. Third place was the number 32. Give a call to these guys. Congratulations to Team WRT on winning the championship. Dries Vantour and Charles Weerts won the outright GT World Challenge Europe Championship in both the sprint and the teams championship for the Endurance Cup. The Audi R8 LMS GT3 squad, they definitely performed very, very well.
Okay.
Fourth place overall went to Marco Bartolotti, the team Orange 1 FFF Racing Team, Lamborghini, the team that won the Nürburgring 3-hour race at the Grand Prix circuit, remember, from pole?
Yeah.
And then fifth place in the pro class and in overall was the number 4 HRT Hop Racing Team Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo with the Mercedes factory driver Nico Bastian behind the wheel at the end, with Mario Engel and Lucas Stolz. Now let's look at the other classes, because we have to talk about the invite classes. The invitation class was basically for cars that did not meet in any category of homologation, which did include there were just 2 new models that are like 2022 models that were running in the race. So the class winner was easily number 1, Dennis Lynn. It was car 26 in T-Lock Racing. Yeah. Dennis Lynn, Marcus Winkelhock, and Finlay Hutchinson. Number 26, Centilic Racing Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo 2 model, and then the BMW M4 GT3, fielded by BMW themselves. Philip Eng was driving at the end, finished 16th overall, second in class. So now let's look at the real classes. So let's go to silver. Silver class was won by 11th overall. ACA ASP win that class too. Simon Gachet won with Thomas Drury and Konstantin Terashenko. So they ended up taking the win in the class. Second place was the number 31 Team WRT Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo. Third place was the number 7 Talk Sport WRT Mercedes AMG. Fourth place, the number 99 Attempto Racing Audi R8. And fifth place, number 33 Rinaldi Racing Ferrari 488 GT3. And then in Pro Am class winner finished 25th overall. The number 20 SPS Automotive Performance car, driven by Valentin Pierberg, Dominic Baumann, and Martin Conrad. The SPS Automotive Performance Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo. Second place was the number 77 Barwell Motorsport. Congratulations to them. They are the outright champions. Barwell Motorsport Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. Barwell Motorsport drivers, the 2 Portuguese friends, the veteran. You had 50-year-old Miguel Ramos and Henrique Chavez, who is 24 years old, bringing it home in P2 in the category. Allman Racing Team, number 97, Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT3, finished third on the class podium. Car 97. that was actually a TF Sport Aston Martin with Ahmad Al-Harti and Charlie Eastwood, as well as Giacomo Petrobelli. So that's your cars, the class podium for the final round. Congratulations to Chris Froget and the Tempesta Racing Ferrari 488 team. They are the Endurance Cup champions. They finished 4th in class in this race in Pro-Am. Great job on them. And then, of course, the number 52A, of course, the Ferrari running out top 5 in the category. So there you have it. Let's look at the final standings now. I had to write some down. So the final driver standings, well, we have the number 51 overall championship standings. Let's take a look at this. The guys that won at Spa win it all in the Endurance Cup for the GT World Challenge Europe Championship. Alessandro Pierguidi, Nicholas Nielsen. We have the Italian, the Dane, and the French driver, Come Ledogar, winning this 2021 championship for the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup in the overall Drivers' Championship. They ended up winning it by 6 points over second place in the title, which was ACA ASP, believe it or not. Team WRT looked like they had a shot to possibly win the Endurance Cup Championship, but they just couldn't get it. That means the second place, number 88, ACA ASP Mercedes. And then third place, number 32. Congratulations to these guys. Let's talk about them for a minute here. Team WRT, Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo. They are your 2021 GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup overall teams champions. In fact, they got the teams championship win just 1 point over the drivers' championship car. It was super close. And they, of course, going into this race, they clinched the outright GT World Challenge Europe Championship that included all the sprint and endurance races with Dries Vanthoor and Charles Weerts. They were the drivers that won the outright Drivers' Championship for 2021. Congratulations. In fact, they've had a stellar year, Team WRT. They already clinched the European Le Mans Series Championship. That, in fact, speaking of ELMS, their last race is in not this weekend, but the next weekend. I think was it Portimao?
I don't know.
It's on the tip of my tongue, the last ELMS race. I think it's 4 hours at Portimao. Something tells me it is or it isn't, but let me continue on here. So yeah, they finished third in the final Endurance Cup Drivers' Championship. Fourth place was the number 63 Orange One FF Racing Team Lamborghini, and fifth place was number 54 Dynamic Motorsport Porsche. Now continuing on with the Endurance Championship final standings. In the Silver Cup, this team won outright in the GT World Challenge Europe and in the Endurance Cup itself. Number 19, Emil5 Racing Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo with Alex Fontana, Ricardo Feller, and Rolf Einichen. They are all Swiss drivers, Swiss team, and they got the job done. ×2. Not bad.
Yeah.
Number 87, ACA ASP Mercedes AMG finished in second, but it was just too far to get there, or too much. They just couldn't get there in time to win the championship. Attempto Racing number 99 Audi in third, number 30 Team WRT Audi in fourth, and Tuck Sport Mercedes in fifth, number 7. Now in Pro-Am, the Drivers' Championship goes to Chris Froget for the Tempesta Racing, Sky Tempesta Racing, and Ferrari for the 488 GT3 Evo. Positioning in second position in the final standings was the number 77 Barrow Motorsport Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. Those guys won the outright championship, like I mentioned, with Barrow Motorsport with Miguel Ramos, age 50, a longtime veteran in the series, and of course Henrik Chavez, who is just 24 years of age. They got the championship for Lamborghini, the outright championship. They were close to getting the the Pro-Am Endurance Cup trophy, but it wasn't enough. Third place was the number 19 FFF Racing Team Lamborghini. Fourth place was the number 20 SPS Automotive Group Performance Mercedes, and fifth place was the number 188 Garage 59 Aston Martin Vantage AMR GT3. So what do you think? GT World Challenge Europe is in the books for 2021. Was it better than last year? You want to see different tracks on the schedule? What do you think?
I don't. It was interesting. Season was interesting.
Man, it went by so fast.
Yeah.
I feel like for the Endurance Cup rounds, usually I know it's going to be far-fetched, but I know I'm always going to say this, put the Nürburgring round on the Nordschleife, but it's probably not going to happen. I think it just doesn't make sense to put a 3-hour race, and they already have the 24-hour race.
Yeah.
Everyone the same cars. Why would you need to do it again? Here's another idea. I want to see Zandvoort on the calendar.
Zandvoort?
Yeah. Zandvoort used to have a lot of endurance races.
Yeah, but is it going to work out with... Because of, remember with the... Remember with... But remember with the FIA... Because they host F1, but for F1, they got to keep the track at grade 1 level for F1 to be racing there. That they don't want to ruin the track.
I mean, they were going to have 24H series, but then travel was an issue, so they canceled it. So that's what I was thinking. Hey, why not bring back some of the other tracks? Like the SR group, they always put some good racing together. It's a shame that we couldn't get the IGTC to run their proper venues. We were going to talk about that actually, though, this upcoming portion of the race previews, but I think my favorite race was definitely La Castellet, though. It seems like Paul Ricard puts on great shows in sports car racing.
Yeah. F1. Yeah, F1, it's not the best compared to those GT races.
And of course, Spa was a classic. 24 hours of Spa.
Yeah, except the start with that crash early on, that was horrifying.
Horrible.
But
so that's in the books. All that sports car racing stuff is done for. Now let's move on and discuss one more race before we bring up our next segment, of course, a race preview. If you think that some of these championships are super close, wait till you see this. And I mean, this is something else out of the ordinary, but Paul Pedroncelli Jr., also known as PJ, takes his first win, leading his first ever lap, the one that matters most, at the Roseville 150 in All-American Speedway.
Yeah. He made a move on the restart, moved Joey Ice up the track to get the win, which was just so interesting. I never expected that to happen. Oh, that was
outstanding.
Yep, Joey Ice, he got second. Led decent amount of laps.
All right, Pedroncelli led just the final lap.
Yep.
While Joey Ice led 21 laps.
Yep.
Trevor Huddleston finished in third.
Yep.
Todd Souza in fourth. Cole Moore led 79 laps to bring it home fifth.
Yeah.
Then we have Jake Drew in eighth, who led 53 laps.
Yep.
Unfortunately for Jesse Love, he was expected to pull away with the championship until he got involved with contact and had to finish a lap down after leading 4 laps. He was credited with a 12th place finish. And this is where I am just appalled. Go ahead and take a look at these. Okay. There's one race to go. This is 9-race tour. Like you usually get people that fall in or fall out or just are no longer into it, like last year or the years before. But this year is a whole nother ball game. The top 7 are 26 points within each other. With one race to spare. Now, of course, 8th place Takuma Kogan on back. They're not going to be able to get there.
Yeah, but first place is Jesse Love at 358. Second place, Paul Pedroncelli Jr. 1 point behind in second place. It's like, you see, like, it's
Look at the
really
amount of laps
cool.
that everybody leads, and then there's PJ with 1 lap led in his
but
only win so far.
but PJ's been so consistent. Like, nobody expected PJ to be running.
His
Like
stats helps him out by starting parking, and
he's
they come from
driving.
Sonoma. Everybody thinks, okay, he's just going to run
Yeah.
1 or 2 races after Sonoma. And it's not where
Nope.
most of the drivers do that. No, he's
Nope.
in this for real.
Yeah, and he's really performing good for his team, Pedroncelli Racing, and he's P2, 1 point behind, heading into Phoenix.
That incident with Jesse Love definitely did a lot of damage in the championship.
Yeah, Jake Drew and
Jake
Cole.
Drew, he's 3 points behind. You can get that and lose that so quickly.
Yeah.
Joey Easton 4th, 5 points behind, and Cole Moore in 5th, 6 points behind his teammate in the championship.
Oh my gosh!
Trevor Huddleston is 6th, minus 15. He's all of a sudden in the picture, and 57-year-old Todd Souza minus 26 points in his own entry.
Wow.
7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, Takuma, or 8th, 9th, 10th, Takuma Koga, Burgess, Bobby Hills Jr. They're not able to get there, but hey, look, they're still close too. I mean, if they had more races,
but still, 26 points between the top 7 in points. That's just impressive.
And you know what? When's the next race? The next race, the season closing Phoenix 100, is on November 6th. They have less than a month to think about it.
Ooh, yeah. And Phoenix, do you want to know what people expect for that entry? Do you want to know how many cars that drive that?
For a race like that, we got a lot of entries.
Do you want to know what people think there could be possibly 35 to 35 cars? That could happen.
I think it might be our largest grid, and of course, the main ARCA series conflicts with them. It doesn't take away. You can still run over there.
Yeah, like example, JP Bergeron, who's going to run the finale at Kansas and ARCA for the 46. He's running. David Gillen's going to have the 46 entered. We know Taylor Gray might run. We know another driver, Amber Slagle, in the Steve McGowan 17, that's why there was 2 17s. The 17E was Gray. The regular 17 was Slagle.
We got a lot of names, and you know what? It's going to be one of the. And do you see why not NASCAR fans are saying enough is enough with the NASCAR playoffs?
Yeah, like
this is the West. This is just the West Series, and it's not supposed to be like this.
Yeah, we won.
Guys, you can gain or lose 26 points in a snap of a finger in a race like Phoenix, as if it's expected to have 30-something cars, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
it's like
that's what's going to happen.
But like 26 points between the top 7, that's just impressive. Like it's just based on regular points. Like they don't have playoffs or anything. They just have points every race. They get points, but it's really close.
Well,
oh my!
I can't wait to see the way that race turns out. It will be. I'm sure it will be a classic. That's something to look for. And you know what? If Pedroncelli didn't win the race, he would still be in a good points position. And you know what? He could have ended up winning this championship with leading no laps. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of motorsports.
Yeah. But
actually, no. We were just talking about it in the NLS series.
Yeah, but other than that,
well, in the context of overall.
Yeah. But the thing, but we have Phoenix on November 6th, Saturday afternoon, before the Xfinity race from Phoenix. They have enough time to think about it. It's going to be interesting. Just the points championship. Last year was a bit stretched out.
Yeah, the McAnally guys just stretched.
Yeah,
and then Brucati, and that was it.
Yeah, but here this year it's so close. 7 guys minus 26 points between first and 7th, and first and second 1 point, and it's going to be interesting.
That would be a cool story to see a customer team, a private tier team like Pedroncelli. So win the championship compared to a factory driver. Nothing against Jesse Love, but
it's going to be interesting heading into a Phoenix for the finale.
Oh, for sure.
This is why I like these.
This is even closer than the NASCAR Series.
Yeah.
Triple header finale.
Yeah.
Delaware.
that was 6 points between first and second. No, 8, 381 to 389 to 3-1. Here it's 1 point.
And we're gonna get more cars in one race.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a close finale at Phoenix.
Super.
This is why I like, this is one reason I like ARCA. Any ARCA series, like ARCA East, ARCA West. I like these regional series. They produce
fun to watch.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good finale at Phoenix for this championship.
All right. Let's talk about what's coming up. We don't have too many races, but we have a lot of significance in the races that will be raced this upcoming end of the week.
Yep. We got
our
Texas.
Final 500-mile race of the season is here at Texas Motor Speedway, and let's go ahead and take a look at the race now. Is this going to throw a fork in the road for these playoff drivers? Absolutely.
Yeah.
As if last year's race wasn't enough to took about 4 days to get a 500-mile race. Then I don't know what will, but let's remove the first race at Texas. So we don't have a race in the spring to work with. We have a sprint race for All-Star Glory.
Well, that's
summer.
not much. Yeah. Well, we're going to have the All-Star race next year at Texas again.
It's not too much you can work off, and yes, we're racing Cold Turkey.
Yeah, but also about Texas, this year they're not going to add PJ1, they said, on the outside. So it's just going to be...
so the 500-mile race, you got to let the guys just make the groove themselves.
But still, the outside lane, with this new configuration, like remember when they did this repave after 2016? The outside, you can't use the outside. There's nothing. You got to always stick to the bottom.
Especially in the first set of corners. You cannot use the outside line there. You better stay to the bottom. And turn 3 or 4, you might be lucky up there. But
yeah, turn 1 and 2, you can't be up there. You're close to the wall.
It'll upset your car.
Yeah, you'll probably hit the wall, or you can hit or you pull a Quinn Houghton trying to pit. Instead, you crash yourself in front of
the It's got a 2-run homer now. It's a 2-run game.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Whew. All right, let's look at the history of this race. Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon won the races last year. First race was won by Jeff Burton in 1997.
Oh,
the first of 3 races in the round of 8. Yeah. Jimmy Johnson has the most wins at Texas by far at 7. Kyle Busch with 4th. He got his 4th last year. Carl Edwards 4 wins as well. Carl Edwards got his last win in the Cup Series at Texas. Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick share 3 wins. For Hamlin fans, I think you should be really excited for this one. Yeah. Greg Biffle, Jeff Burton, Matt Kenseth, and Tony Stewart all won here twice. Now let's look at the fall race. Hendrick Motorsports has 5 wins. For you Kyle Larson fans, that's something to be excited for in the fall of Texas. 4 times has Stuart Haas Racing gone to victory lane, as has Joe Gibbs Racing. 2 wins from Roush Fenway Racing. Now with the fall race at Texas and manufacturers, Chevrolet owns this list with 7 wins. Again, for you Larson fans, something to be excited about. Ford with 5 wins. So if you're a Penske fan, that's good stats for you. Yep. Toyota 3 wins and Dodge with 1 win. Yep. So there you have it. And for you Penske fans, again, that was with a Penske car.
Yeah.
We're going to make our picks. Who's going to win this race? Who's the best playoff driver?
Okay. I'm reading. Okay, this guy's stats. I know they're not too good here, but he's a serious contender almost every week. This driver, he's ran 13 total races, 0 wins, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, 7 top 20s, 74 laps. Average drive 16.6, average finish 19.77. His best finish here is 2nd place. That's why I don't say he's good here because, you saw the stats, 19.77. But he has kind of a bit of an advantage because he won the All-Star race. You didn't hear what I said. This driver, he has the points lead after the reset. Driver of the number 5, Kyle Larson, is going to win at Texas and punch his ticket to the championship 4 at Phoenix. I know that Kyle Larson can't win 500 miles, they say. He won the 600-miler.
You had to go through 500 miles to get to the 600.
Yeah, he ended up getting... I feel like Kyle Larson, he ran... I know this All-Star race was short, but the thing is, he knows the track. Kyle Larson, some of the races, he just had bad luck, but Hendrick Motorsports, that 5 car this season, if people have been under a rock, the 5 car has just been fast. 7 victories this season. He's going to get number 8. Kyle Larson's winning at Texas. Who's your pick, Joseph?
Well, my pick is going to be the one driver that's trying to keep Kyle Larson in check. He's been in a position like this 11 years ago, and guess what? He did everything he had to do to stay in that championship fight.
Oh, I think I know who this is.
Denny Hamlin.
You think Denny Hamlin?
He did this against Jimmy Johnson in 2010.
Yeah, but
he's going to do it again. He's going to pull through a Texas Motor Speedway and take this win.
Well, we'll see what he does against Kyle Larson.
Right. And let's not rule out guys like Kyle Busch either. I mean, Kyle Busch, or even a guy like Kevin Harvick.
Yeah,
someone like Brad Keselowski, a 2-time Busch Xfinity winner at Texas. Why not Brad? Why not?
Well, it depends how his car handles. If it handles bad, he's not going to
Brad in these situations.
Yeah, but he wants a good handling car, not a car that's always loose and tight. And
someone that could really use the practice sessions, and I bet you next year it's going to really help him out. But yeah, you really don't know what a race like this is going to look like, but at least, 500 miles, the extra 100 miles in a race like this does make a big difference. Tire wear is going to be hugely important. You got to save your tires at Texas. You have to stay in a position where you're not being side-by-side constantly with someone, because that's going to aerodynamically hurt you. If you are in a position where your car is not handling well, tough luck, because the leader is going to put you a lap down, and that you don't want that to be you.
Yeah.
And you can't really tell how the car is going to react until a few laps into the run. So
yeah,
we'll see where this goes, and hopefully we come back here on the Monday night at the conclusion of the race, not Thursday.
Well, we had 2 podcasts. We had 82A and 82B. Yeah, we had Tuesday and then
at least they're back the week up, so I think we're all right.
But hopefully it's not. Remember the mist? Hopefully there's no mist with cold. Remember the cold temperatures? I don't know why it was that cold at Texas.
Well, here's the good news. Daylight savings time is going to happen after the race. It happened before the race last year, which means that during start time it should be warmer.
Daylight savings time falls on November 7th this year, my birthday. So the championship race at Phoenix doesn't get affected by time because there's no daylight savings in Arizona. They stay the same time, but we got to, because in the spring, there's always people saying spring ahead. But fall, we got to go backwards an hour. In the fall,
sometimes you wake up and you wish you have an extra hour in the morning. I've been there before. Today.
Yeah, Texas is going to be interesting for the Cup Series, but we still got the Xfinity Series.
Right, and it's very close in the Xfinity Series championship right now. 335 miles at Texas. So look at the history of this race. Unlike the Cup guys, these guys actually had a means of preparation. But yeah, late spring, summer temperatures are definitely going to be different than autumn temperatures at Texas. Of course, this is around 30 or 33. The first of 3 races in the round of 8 for this NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs. Yeah. Kyle Busch and Harrison Burton, Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, won the last 2 races this year for Kyle Busch and last year for Harrison Burton. That was a bizarre race last year, to say the least. Mark Martin won the first race in 1997. And Kyle Busch owns the list of most wins in the all-time record with 10 victories. Kevin Harvick with 5 wins in second. Eric Jones, who got 3 wins there, all from Joe Gibbs Racing, including his very first one in 2015. Yep. Mark Martin, 3 wins. And then with 2 wins, you have Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, and Brad Keselowski. Those are some big names on that category.
Yeah.
Most team wins for the fall race in Texas. If you're a Hendrick fan, if you're a Harrison Burton fan, Brandon Jones fan, Joe Gibbs Racing fan in general, they have 6 wins in the fall at Texas. This is all right. I mean, hey, Harrison Burton won it last year, so why not think about a possibility for this year? Richard Childress Racing got 4 wins in this event. Roush Fenway Racing and Team Penske share 2 wins apiece. 2 wins for each team. So if you're an Austin Cindric fan, hell, he's won there before. Not actually physically, but still was credited the win in July of last year.
Oh, yeah.
Why not think of him possibly winning again this year.
Yeah.
Most manufacturer wins in the fall. Toyota with 6, all from Joe Gibbs Racing Cars. Chevrolet 5, and Ford with 5.
Ooh.
So if any of those manufacturers win, they could share 6 on the all-time wins list. So for the fall of Texas, so hard not to watch what's going on in Fenway right now.
But I'm actually looking at this guy's stats. I have my pick.
Let's hear it.
Okay, my pick. This driver, he's run 5 total starts here at Texas. He has an average start of 12.4 with a best start of 5th and a worst start of 35th. His average finish is 12.6. His best finish here is 3rd, and his worst finish here is 32nd. In the 5 starts, he has total of 94 laps led here. This driver, he drives a Toyota. He's still looking for his first career win. Driver of the number 18, Daniel Hemrick, is going to win at Texas and finally get his first career win.
That'd be huge.
Who's your pick?
My pick is the same as yours. I'm going with Daniel Hemrick. You know, he is back in a position to win a championship again, but he's got to get that first win. You cannot be that good and not have a win. It just doesn't make sense.
And also, like Daniel Hemrick, he's good at Texas. He did good for his 4 races, which was his 2 years at RCR, and then his 5th start.
The very first races with the new layout.
Yeah, which in that first race he ever ran at Texas, he finished. That's his worst finish, 32nd. But his first 4 races were both seasons 2017, 2018. So he hasn't raced at Texas since 2018 until 2021 when he raced in the 18 car in June. So this is going to be a 6th start. I feel like he'll win. So
I think he's got what it takes. And for the rest of these guys, they need to get stage points as much as possible.
Yeah.
Especially if you're Harrison Burton or Brandon Jones.
Yeah.
No room to miss out on stage points now.
Yeah.
You want to just win it. Let's move on and talk sports cars. I know we spent a lot of time reviewing races, but we don't have to spend too much time previewing the upcoming events. And that, of course, is the 2nd annual running of the Intercontinental GT World Challenge event, the 2021 8 Hours of Indianapolis on the Brickyard.
Yep.
The newest premier race at the Brickyard.
Yeah, obviously at the road course. No, it's not the Brickyard 400. No, they don't race those GT cars at the ovals. They're racing at the road course, which is interesting. I watched it last year. I remember watching it last year. But this year I'll have to miss parts or most of it because part of it because of work on Sunday the 17th. But looking at, we have 41 cars.
Wikipedia has a good entry list. Whoever put the Wikipedia entry list on Wikipedia, good job. Keep doing it. Well, I know there's a few TBA names. I'll give you a 95%. You still get an A in my book.
Yeah. But still,
I love it when wiki editors are on top of the game. This is like,
well,
everyone talks about, oh, you got pet peeves with this and that. No, there's actually good pet peeves, and this is one of them. Keeping up with wiki.
Yeah, we have GT3s, GT4s. I think there's GT3s the overall or main.
They're main class.
There's GT3, GT4. There's Pro Am, Pro Am, and Silver.
Yeah.
I see all them here.
Here, I'm trying to send you the text. Here's the link of the entry list. It's a PDF, so.
Oh, there it is.
So I'm just going to read out the classes. So it's GT3 overall. I mean, Wiki says, GT3 overall.
Yeah, and there's
Pro, Silver, Pro Am. And there's also a separate trophy for the Am class.
Yeah.
And then, of course, GT4, they do have, I think it's all like Am, Silver, and Pro Am.
Yeah.
Most likely than Silver.
Yeah.
we'll make predictions for all kinds of things. Let's start with our overall winner. Who's going to win this race overall? Can be any one of these guys.
Okay.
Well, of course, not the GT4s, but let's hear.
I got my pick. My pick is the number 96 Turner Motorsport BMW M6 GT3, driven by Connor DeFilippi, Michael Dinon, and Robbie Foley. Picking experience in that 96 car.
BMW won last year with Walking Horse Motorsport, and it sounds like Connor DeFilippi was in that car with Nicky Katzberg and Augusta Farfus.
Yeah.
So consider that while you make your pick. My pick for the overall winner of the 2021 8 Hours of Indianapolis. Oh man, I'm trying to. My pick for overall honors. This is going to be a big one. In fact, this team is so good. They just won a championship. They're not the same team, the same lineup on the championship. They're driving the same car, but they're fielded by a different team this year. In fact, they're so good that the track that they won a big race at this year is helping field their entry. The number 51. And of course, provided with help from Spa-Francorchamps Motors, Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo with Kame Ladogar, Alessandro Pierguidi, and Nicholas Nielsen. These guys are on a run right now. This trio has been amazing, and they're going to continue what they did, of course, with Iron Lynx and the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup Championship, and of course in WEC. They're going to continue all that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Silver Cup.
Okay, I'm looking.
For GT3, of course.
Okay, so got my pick. My pick in the silver in GT3 is the number 33 Windward Racing Mercedes-AMG GT3 Evo, driven by Marvin Dinst, Philip Ellis, and Russell Ward.
They sound pretty good, but here's the thing. I mean, they're great sprint races. They did prove that they could win a 24-hour race earlier this year with help from HTP. I mean, that's not a bad deal. I think it's a good one. Let me go ahead and make my pick. I'm going to go ahead and take number 77, Compass Racing. Acura NSX GT3 Evo, driven by Mario Farnbacher, Ashton Harrison, and Matthew McMurray. Now, mind you, all the Honda NSXs that were found at the Spot 24 Hours are racing under the Acura brand.
Yeah.
Which is good in all their parts because it's good for sponsorship.
Okay.
Attention when you do that. Because the NSXs in the States are under the Acura banner. All right, and then we have Pro-Am.
Okay. I got my pick. My pick in Pro-Am is the number 04 CrowdStrike DT Racing Mercedes MG GT3 Evo, driven by Colin Braun, Ben Keating, and George Kurtz. I'm picking experience, the American lineup, and an American team.
I'm going to take the sister car to what you picked. I'm going to go with number 19 and take the CrowdStrike GXDT Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, but with the drivers Michael Cooper, Aaron Vogel, and Thomas Merrill. I think it might be interesting to see where they finish, and even where all these guys finish overall. It doesn't matter. And by the way, the only AM car entry.
This is a 61.
61A, of course, a Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo with Conrad Grudenwald, Mark Vame, and Jean-Claude Seda.
Yeah.
All right, now let's look at the GT4 entries. And Now they have their own classes, but who's going to win the outright GT4 class in this race?
Okay, I got my pick for GT4. My pick is the number 36, Bemmer World Racing BMW M4 GT4, driven by Bill Auberlin, James Clay, Chandler Hole. Picking experience.
Oh, yeah. A lot of experience from drivers like Bill Auberlin, of course. No question about that. Chandler Hole, he's been great this year in other series.
James Clay.
James Clay.
Yeah, 3 great drivers in that lineup.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick for the outright GT4 class win. And that is going to be... that's going to be the number 82, the sister car to
okay.
The number 82 BMW M4 GT4 from Bimmer World Racing. Nick Galante, Devin Jones, James Walker.
Okay, more experience, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so that leaves us with Pro-Am. Let's start with Silver, then Pro-Am and Am.
Wait, Silver. We picked the Bill Auberlin, the 82 and 36 are Silvers, Joseph.
Oh, there's Silvers. Whoops, I was thinking there's Pro somewhere. No, it's
Pro-Am.
Let's go Pro-Am. We have a lot of Pro-Am, though.
Okay.
For this incentive, who's going to go ahead and take that win?
My pick for Pro-Am is the number 98 Random Vandals Racing BMW M4 GT4, driven by Al Carter, Connor Daly, and Paul Sparta. Yes, I'm picking Connor Daly. I know people are like, "Oh, you're bandwagoning." No, Connor Daly. Yeah, he's racing in the GT4s.
All right. I think I know where I'm going to pick for Pro-Am. I'm going to go with experience. Okay. I'm talking about endurance and experience. These two brothers are from the Netherlands. These two Dutch brothers, I was going to say.
Yeah.
They're very
I see them.
Owner-driver. He's a longtime gentleman driver that just loves fielding his team. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I see it.
Tim Pappas in the number 54 Black Swan Racing, number 54 Porsche Cayman GT4 Club Sport with Jorolin and Sebastian Blakemolin and Tim Pappas himself. I'm going to take the Pro-Am GT4 class win, and that leaves us with 3 Am cars in this mix.
Yep.
Just 3.
Yep.
More cars are in Pro-Am than not. Let's see where that's.
Okay. I got my pick.
Yeah.
Okay. My pick. This car is the only car in a Toyota Supra GT4. My pick is the number 68 TGR Smooth Racing Toyota GR Supra GT4, driven by Kevin Conway. I know people are going to probably laugh at me for picking Kevin Conway. John Giesbreit and Jack Hawksworth.
Jack Hawksworth is the reason why your pick is legitimate.
No, Kevin Conway.
That's a long shot. Okay,
well, Kevin Conway ain't the worst. In NASCAR he was, but maybe it's 8 hours. So it's a long race. It's not like it's a sprint race. 8 hours. He has a chance.
All right, let's.
What's your pick?
My pick for the Am class. I'm going to take these guys. Number 7, Porsche Cayman 718. Number 7, Nella Sport with OGH. Sean Gibbons, Pippa Man, Sam Owens. Like I said, experience might be there.
Oh, Pippa Man. I just realized. Yeah, she's running. That's interesting.
She's won classes multiple times at the Nürburgring 24 Hours and some other events, so I think it's a good deal. I think this race is going to be fun to watch. We have so many good names in there. A lot of IndyCar personalities are going to be there. Some ex-NASCAR drivers. A lot of international names are in this one.
Yeah.
Some teams weren't able to make it for obvious reasons. Yeah. It's hard to go across the pond if you're a team.
Yeah.
It's this race. Of course, the Spot 24 Hours was the first race. Then the 8 hours of Indianapolis, and then the 9 hours of Kyalami in South Africa.
Yeah.
Make up your 3-race intercontinental.
Yeah.
And I really hope that for next year, because we know Stefan Rotell organization, those guys like to make changes that are very good for the benefit of the drivers.
Yeah.
I really hope they find a way to change the date of next year's Bathurst 12 hours.
Yeah.
Why putting it on the weekend of the Super C ring is a bad idea. Well, you want your best drivers. They're not going to be there.
Oh my god. I was just
yeah,
and I wanted to say if people didn't pay attention today, there was a test at the Roval. They have test day tomorrow. There's actually results that I have on my phone from Bob Pockers. Thank you, Bob. We had the test, the Gen 7 car. There was 21 entries. There was only one entries that they had. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott split the 5 car today. Chase Briscoe, he was the fastest. 120.219. Ricky Stenhouse was second fastest at 121.2. Briscoe a second faster, but do you want to know what one of the people from NASCAR, John, I forgot his last name, do you want to know how much faster the cars were? 1.3 to 1.6 seconds faster than the fastest laps yesterday. So, yeah, so it also proves, like, even though there's less horsepower, 670 compared to the 750 yesterday, these cars are a bit faster than the current cars, which 120, you had Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he was second fastest, then Ryan Blaney, A.J. Allmendinger, Tyler Reddick, then the 5 was 6 between Larson and Elliott. They split the 5. Then it was Cole Custer in the 14. Yeah, Cole Custer in the 14, Briscoe in the 4. That's what. Then LaJoy Cindric Logano was 10. 11, Joey Hand in the Rick Ware 51. Then it was Eric Jones. Loris Heisman's the first time running this car. He got 13th, and it was Gralla, Suarez, Chastain, Bowman, Buescher, Truex, Ty Dillon 20th. Bubba was the slowest, and people were mocking him for being the slowest, but it's just a test session. It's day one.
Test session. It's supposed to be going faster than everybody else.
Yeah, but still, Chase Briscoe.
I knew Chase Briscoe was going to take advantage of the session because he's driven cars like that. He's driven, I think a lot. I was saying a lot that this car replicates a GT3.
Yeah,
but GT4 is not too different either.
Yeah, like
today's FIA specifications.
Yeah, like a 122.19. Like, that's impressive for that lap time because
what's the fastest lap yesterday?
Let me actually pull up Racing Reference because they keep track of that. Okay, Racing Reference. Fastest lap yesterday. Wait.
I think Timing 71 has it. I think you'll see it in the lap time in purple.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to talk about. And I wanted to say this for the end of the podcast, but I know we don't cover DTM.
Yeah.
But we're not going to act like it didn't exist. What happened yesterday at the Norris race, bless you, it was absolutely atrocious. I'm going to say from my race fan opinion, because I'm very opinionated. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. I can be very opinionated, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to say a few words and try to put it in the nicest, bluntest way possible. What happened yesterday at the Norris Ring was not racing. It was a circus of stupidity, of lack of morality within the officials and the drivers involved. I am happy for Max Guts. He deserved the championship in this year's DTM by all means. He did what he had to do to win it. But did he really deserve it? No, he didn't. He did not deserve the championship it was Liam Lawson who got robbed. And I mean, he got robbed to the max. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves DTM. I mean, what good is it if the Dacia Touring Masters is morphing into another GT3 championship? I mean, at least the BTCC runs touring cars with the TCR regulations. I know I'm not going to try to be biased, but what I'm going to say is that I'm going to say a few words about Kelvin van der Linde for a minute, because I've covered, we cover endurance racing a lot. We watched him. He's a factory Audi driver.
Yeah.
We watched him for years. He's won overall in Nürburgring in 2017, one of the most bizarre races out there. The guy can drive a car. Comes from a racing family.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that his actions was farcical to the talent that he should be carrying as a driver in motor racing. I mean, that not only was dirty driving or just poor on-track behavior, but that was dangerous. Somebody's going to get hurt one day. We already seen it of over-aggressive, careless driving. We've already seen time after time again drivers getting hurt in avoidable contact on the track. And now here we are. Someone just got a championship robbed from. And I don't care whether or not KVL was in a championship contending position, which he was. It was down to Liam Lawson, Calvin van der Linde, and Maximilian Götz. Between basically Ferrari's Lawson, and of course Ferrari's Lawson, HRT, Maximilian Götz, and Calvin van der Linde. Team Abt Audi. And we've seen Abt in the Audi backing having problems before with staying out of trouble. Daniel Abt in Formula E and pulling the whole fake personality thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
He had a fake name. He wasn't driving the sim races. Had someone better than him, like a sim racing fill-in driver, race under his name. Got sacked from his own family supported team. How? I mean, that's pretty low. And I'm not trying to say that Kelvin van der Linde is a bad driver by all means. He's a very talented driver. He's won 10 hours in Suzuka. He's an incredible driver. He won the ADAC GT Masters events. He won Nürburgring overall. He's a two-time ADAC GT Masters champion.
Yeah.
Is there anything he can't do? I mean, I know he's new to the sprint races, and he's an aggressive driver. I've seen his moves in the NLS VLN series, but the fact that the DTM just gave this guy a slap on the wrist for literally guiding Liam Lawson into the turn one barrier, and here's Lawson straight and squeaking left and turning away. Of course, we see Kelvin van der Linde. How unfair is that? How despicable is that? And that he gets just a 5-second time penalty for that. But luckily, the karma hit, just like it kind of hit Kevin Harvick when he hit Chase Elliott, but not in this severe manner. Not with a championship at stake. He ended up spinning with a flat rear tire, which put him down to 17th place. But the damage was done. I'd like to see a fair game on the track. That wasn't fair. That was not racing. That was intentional. Dirty driving. We saw it with Ben Rhodes last year. The line was crossed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we need to go ahead and bash this guy, banish him, ban him for. No. He shouldn't be banned from this. He should be reprimanded. Maybe fined. Fine the guy.
Yeah.
He ruined the championship. He ruined the outcome of the season.
Yeah.
Fine him. And I don't know what the politics are in the DTM. I mean, Mercedes, I'm sure, has a lot of investment in DTM, being their home series, but and just being in the sport for decades. But something's got to be done about Mercedes as well. I know that Maximilian Gotts won the championship by 3 points, but here's the thing. It wasn't the fact that, there were team orders in the racing team Mercedes operation that bothered me when Maximilian Gotts was not in the lead. By the way, in that circumstance, he had to win the race to win the championship. Just to point that out. It was the fact that the non-HRT Mercedes were doing the same for the benefit of Maximilian Gotts.
Well, but was it actually Mercedes or the team that Gotts told them to do that? Because it's the same thing with remember the '97 championship in F1. Do you want to know what Ferrari told? Ferrari told Sauber drivers to block Jacques Villeneuve and be annoying on purpose to ruin Jacques' championship. But then you know what happened in '97 when you know what Michael Schumacher sometimes did for championships, like in his first championship. Remember when he remember in '94?
Yeah.
He came back on track and got into Damon Hill. Mm-hmm. Damon lost the championship because of that. And Jacques knew about those things, so he reminded the media about it. And people thought, Jacques' going to be out of it when Schumacher did that. No, Schumacher put himself in the gravel. He got disqualified from the point.
Championship.
Yeah, and he had to go to France for the safety, FIA safety, because that was really dangerous. Because, you turn into a driver trying to get a championship, it's like, okay, you don't turn into him in the corners. He did that to Damon Hill, '94, if people don't remember that race. Schumacher went off in the corner. He came back on track into Damon Hill. Damon Hill had to finish.
Once the vehicle becomes a weapon, the racing doesn't matter. That's where it has to stop. And I know that we're NASCAR fans and we're really used to seeing this kind of physical contact on track being normalized. But this is a line being drawn. We saw it at Silverstone. We saw it Daytona last year. We've seen it Daytona 3 years ago in the 500. This is, hell, you can argue Tate Fulgham at Talladega was a bit like that.
Yeah, but
this is just too much.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying in general, but we're not playing video games.
No.
We're not sim racing. We're not goofing around. You're in a race car that could go as fast as 200 miles an hour, 160 miles an hour, whatever the speeds are.
Yeah.
TTM, of course, the Norris brings a fast lap under a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a race sim, example, iRacing. You're at, example, you see my steering wheel. You're at home, you're sitting in your chair, you're racing your wheel. In a real car, you're in the car itself. It's more realistic than just sitting at your desk with your wheel. Yeah, in a real car.
You know what else is not fair?
What?
Liam Lawson, he's competing for 2 championships.
Yeah.
He also comes from New Zealand. Yep. And last time I checked, it's very, very, very hard as we speak to get in and out of there right now.
Yeah.
So the guy, he must be homesick doing all this just to keep a racing career alive.
Yeah, he's
and I know I can't act like why me all that no but it feels like the kid was disserviced.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fans of DTM have been disserviced this year. This is supposed to be Germany's premier touring car series, not another GT3 championship. And this is the first year of it being GT3. And whatever the BTCC is doing, whether you like the WTCR regulations or not, because we know a lot of people don't like them. Oh, I'm tired of the hatchbacks. I get it. At least it's touring cars, and we're keeping that going over there in Britain. But it's unfortunate. I sympathize with Liam Lawson a lot. I know that a lot of fans wanted him to win this championship. It would look great on his resume, and now he'll never get that opportunity because somebody decided to drive maliciously on the track and receive a slap on the hand for that. That's just not racing. I think we said what needed to be said, but regardless, congratulations to Maximilian Gotts. He did nothing wrong. I mean, who cares if the cars in front of you that are Mercedes were a little bit slower? He had to pass him to win. Yeah. That's what he did.
Yeah, so it's not all Gotts' fault. He did what he needed.
And the guy's 35 years old.
Yeah.
I know he's been a Mercedes driver for years, but this is huge for him.
Yeah, and also, Joseph, you were wondering about the lap times? Kyle Busch's fastest lap, he was the fastest. 1:23.635. 3.4 seconds slower than Briscoe's time. So, it proves how this car will be good at a decent amount, which, if people don't remember, there was that test session, but Chase Briscoe did a good lap. He was the fastest. They ran some drivers ran around 100 laps, 100, 150 laps. So it's going to be interesting heading into day 2 of tomorrow. We'll have Charlotte test day number 2, which is still it's going to be live on YouTube again, which is their final day at the Roval for the test, which I'm glad that, this is the first test we can see that fans can see online to see how the cars look. People are bashing the number placements. For me, the car, other than the number placement, for me, the car looks just interesting. Just looking at how looking how the car looks, the Gen 7 car just looks good. How it looks like a good car, like a good race car.
Yeah.
And the sound, I've heard the sound. It actually sounds really good.
Sounds like a Corvette GT too.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that next year, hopefully NASCAR, the races go good. I guess they're going to do a tire test before the LA Coliseum. They're going to do a tire test at Bowman Gray Stadium.
I wonder why.
But I remember Bowman Gray Stadium. The final race they had there for NASCAR was no winner. Bobby Allison was disqualified because Petty complained that he, instead of being in his regular Cup car, he drove. Remember when they couldn't get a full field, they would have the cars from cars. Yeah, he drove for Melvin Joseph in another car those sportsman cars instead of his regular car. And Petty protested, and people thought, Petty got the win. NASCAR put that nobody won the race. And Petty did not get the win in that race, or Bobby Allison, so nobody won that race. So they're going to have a tire test there to prepare for the LA Coliseum in February for the Clash. I don't know how that's going to go with that short track. Probably going to be beating and banging, or probably what happens if, the thing I talked about that at Islip Speedway when the back markers knew when to go because they saw the leaders taking the green behind them in their mirrors, so it could be like that. But so that was so it's gonna be an interesting weekend with races. 8 hours of Indy, NASCAR at Texas. Not much this weekend. But also, if people like open wheel or Super Formula in Japan, just want to briefly mention that at Twingren Motegi, round 6 of 7, where they're at Twingren Motegi. Their final race is on October 31st at Suzuka. So just letting fans know that there's some open wheel if you want to look up the Super Formula Championship. So, yeah.
Well, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your holiday. I'm going to go ahead and watch the rest of the baseball game. Thank you for joining this episode of the Below the Line podcast. We'll be back for episode 133 next week.
Yep.
For my partner Justin Heber, I am Joe Laney Powell. We are signing off. Have a good night.